There has been a lot of reports recently of people finding hidden cameras in their Airbnbs and hotels, and I don't mean just little hotels, mainstream ones. Even people going into like Hilton hotels and finding cameras watching them in the room. It's pretty terrifying because cameras can come this small now, like literally tiny, and people can hide them wherever they want. Of course, it's not the hotels doing this, it's some creepy guest who's come in, hidden the camera, and now is watching your wife shower. Like, what the hell? As I say, these things are so small, the security team or the cleaners would never find them.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? If you guys are brand new here to the channel, you guys don't know what we do, don't worry, I'm gonna break it down for you guys. We talk about the most scariest and creepiest videos that's gonna make us question everything. Let's do what we do best, seekers. Stay with me, y'all. Let's seek the truth.
I'll tell you some interesting things that I just learned. A skyscraper called Walkie Talkie, I guess because it looks like one, was melting cars and damaging buildings due to its ability to focus sunlight because of the concave shape that it was built in. That's just unfortunate, putting all that work in. Oh my goodness. Two men climbed Mount Everest and then paraglided off the summit, touching down over 19 miles away in only 42 minutes, which allowed them to avoid the potentially deadly 3-day descent. Now that's what I call a shortcut. The Big Zero is a soccer stadium in Brazil where the midfield line is basically aligned with the equator, which causes each team to defend one hemisphere or the other. American Airlines saved $40,000 by eliminating one olive from its first-class salads back in 1987. So that $40,000 was worth a lot more than it is now. The guy that named the movie Cars got a $300,000 bonus and reportedly was paid over $700,000 a year. Sometimes simplicity is just the way to go. Cars. Bulgaria sold 213,000 Bitcoin in 2018, which would now be worth $25 billion and actually would be more than enough to clear their entire national debt.
Who knows where that woman who saw a shapeshifter on a plane is?
What happened to that girl on the plane that swore there was a non-human sitting next to her? Do you guys remember that? Because right after that, she disappeared. Back in July of 2023, a woman went viral in American Airlines because she was freaking out, claiming that someone sitting next to her was not a human. He was not real, which freaked out everyone. Completely terrified, like if she saw something that she wasn't supposed to see. People joked and said she was drunk or on something, but body language experts said that she was genuinely terrified. The kind of fear your brain releases when you are not supposed to see something, or when you just can't explain what's in front of you. After this video went viral, she went completely silent. No interviews, no reactions, no nothing. It was like if she had just disappeared. Months later, she appeared in like this one interview. It was like an interview or like a video of her apologizing, but everyone claimed that she looked completely different. She was just too nervous, too weird.
Yep.
It looked like she was almost coached on what to say.
This is for sure one of those things that was just super weird, that never got solved, that we never heard an answer for. Somebody needs to have this woman on a podcast to talk about what really happened. Stay weird.
When was the last time you saw Alec Baldwin? Why do I ask? Because his wife took to Instagram and posted a family photo of him and his daughter on the way home from a long weekend. But in the photo, Alec Baldwin was unrecognizable, leaving fans asking the question, has Hollywood claimed another celebrity? If you haven't seen the image, take a look at this. Who is that in the photo? Is that Alec Baldwin?
Yeah.
Is that the Alec Baldwin we're all accustomed to seeing on TV and in movies? Here is the Instagram post where the image came from. His wife goes on to write, what an amazing weekend filled with family fun. Happy Monday and wishing you all so much love. Fans of the couple were quick to take to social media, asking the question, has Hollywood claimed another celebrity? This is the Alec Baldwin we're all used to seeing. So who is this Alec Baldwin? What is going on with Alec Baldwin? And like I say in all my videos, I understand that people can age and people can change. But these Hollywood celebrities do not look the same. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Here's some of the scariest cursed objects that actually exist. Part 6. One of the most famous and famously cursed objects in the world is the Hope Diamond. This 45.5 carat diamond was formed in the earth 1.1 billion years ago. And since its discovery, many notable people have owned it. As it was passed down from person to person, a terrible curse was said to follow it, causing great misfortune to anyone who owned it. It's been known to cause disgrace, divorce, suicide, imprisonment, torture, and financial ruin. It now resides in the Smithsonian Natural History Museum in Washington, D.C., where it can be observed by the public. It is never lended out for any reason due to its worth of $250 million and to prevent the curse from harming any more people.
What is
Crazy.
going on right now? You are never going to want to go and stay in a hotel ever again. Seriously, what is that? There has been a lot of reports recently of people finding hidden cameras in their Airbnbs and hotels, and I don't mean just little hotels, mainstream ones. Even people going into like Hilton hotels and finding cameras watching them in the room. It's pretty terrifying because cameras can come this small now, like literally tiny, and people can hide them wherever they want. Of course, it's not the hotels doing this, it's some creepy guest who's come in, hidden a camera, and now is watching your wife shower. Like, what the hell? As I say, these things are so small, the security team or the cleaners would never find them. Then some Airbnbs as well, hosts are hiding cameras in everyday objects that you wouldn't notice to watch and check in on their guests. So if you're going anywhere and you do feel a bit uneasy, just always look in the common places, like the smoke detectors, alarm clocks, behind coat hangers, things like that where people normally tend to hide these things. Of course, this is very rare. It's not just going to happen to you randomly one day, but it is happening a lot more recently, maybe not even with a malintent in some of these Airbnbs. It's probably just to check on you, but if it's somewhere like the bathroom, then it's definitely not for that reason, so stay cautious.
Man, now we gotta check everywhere we go, bro. I don't know what device you got, man, but I need to get one of those. But you get a hotel and an Airbnb, better bring one of those things with you, man, so I can detect if you like that small cameras around, bro. That's crazy, man. People trying to watch you, bro. Weird.
There's been another volcanic eruption in Indonesia. Another one. And it's Mount Luatobi Laki Laki is what it's called. That's actually the name of it. Search it up. It has just erupted this morning, today. The question is, why are we continuously seeing these volcanic eruptions, these different natural disasters on the earth, these different pestilences, these earthquakes, all these things happening worldwide? Why are we seeing this? Well, it's because the earth has a role in the end days. It has its own role. It is supposed to react like this. Remember, there will be signs in the sun, the moon, and in the stars. Remember that there will be signs in the heavens. Remember that there will be earthquakes and all these different birth pains is the word that are happening in these end days. And the earth has to play its role. The reason why we're seeing so many different things happening is because we are approaching the time of the end. We are approaching the time where Jesus returns. That's why they call these moments birth pain. The same with angels or with certain humans or with Jesus Christ himself, that everyone has a role to play. Prophecy has a role to play, and all of these things on the earth is playing their role. Remember Matthew 24, the most famous chapter in Matthew, because the disciples were asking him, what is the sign of his coming in the end of the age? We are seeing the signs happening in real time, and we are seeing the end of the age being ushered in. Look up and lift up your head, because your redemption draws near.
Did you guys hear
Noted.
the NBC Nightly News? The Pentagon said that there is a potential mothership headed towards Earth.
Yeah, you told me about it.
He said it so casually. And he's like, we'll be right back after this. And it's like, what? All right, hold on. Listen to this. Stay with us.
End on that.
Now our sponsor, Denny's. How you doing? Grand Slam. Like what? How's that so casual, nonchalant?
Like I feel like we just talked about the possibility of there being another species of whatever.
What does that mean,
And
mothership?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But there's this thing that's been flying around, it's flown around Earth or close to Earth before, but it looks like a giant rock looking thing like this.
Yeah.
But the way it flies through space almost defies physics.
Yeah.
Like it's not completely going off of gravity. And so this one expert in the Pentagon or whatever is like, that's another ship.
Oh, fuck no, y'all. Shein, whatever you want to call it, just got busted for selling childlike dolls. Fool, do you know how sick that is? I'm not gonna lie, y'all, the doll looked like a fucking child. You got friends talking about they about to ban it, and now you got other countries looking into banning it also. Should be weird, fool. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down below in the comments.
You gotta be careful, man, what companies you buy your clothes and stuff from, bro. You never know, man, what's going on behind the scenes.
It's official. Vine is back, but with one big difference. So not only will it have the exact same 6-second looping videos, but it'll also give access to more than 100,000 archived Vines. But instead of Elon being the person to bring Vine back like he said he wanted to, this app, now called Divine, will be backed by none other than Twitter co-founder Jack Dorsey. But the one big thing that makes Divine totally different to other social media platforms is that it will prohibit AI content. In fact, it will scan for and flag suspected generated AI content and prevent it from being posted. It's essentially trying to act as a safe haven. So is this just another hopeless attempt to capitalize on nostalgia? Or can they actually fix the problems Vine had and make it successful this time around?
So there was a massive internet outage once again. Not your Wi-Fi. I'm talking major infrastructure globally. And the scariest part, it took one system to start acting shaky for thousands of websites to blink off like they never existed. Cloudflare. The same backbone that helps run Twitter, ChatGPT, IKEA, Spotify, and a ridiculous amount of other sites is experiencing outages. And because Cloudflare powers the skeleton of the internet, not the surface, entire platforms are going dark, flickering, coming back, and dying all over again. People are literally refreshing their screens like it's a life support machine. One software company glitches, and thousands of sites around the world stop existing. We saw the same situation when AWS went down. Half the internet flatlined. But this time, it wasn't a cyber attack. It wasn't a storm, just one system bucking under its own importance. Think about how important the internet has become. It controls your money, your banking, your communication, your GPS, your business operations, your emergency access, and all of that can be gone with the snap of a finger. We better pay attention to this, because what if it, you know what, I'm out.
Oh, this Cloudflare, man. When that happened, bro, that was legit crazy, bro. I saw it too, man. I was scrolling. I was victim to it as well, man. I was scrolling, it wasn't loading. It just said, sorry, error occurred, bro. It's kind of crazy, man, how Cloudflare, how one company, one system is like the backbone of the internet. Should have multiple, man, so that won't happen. That's crazy, man. Like I said, that affects our daily lives, man. Like I said, our money, how we communicate with people. If that was down even more permanently, what would happen? Food for thought.
You hear the theory behind 6-7? Oh, it's demonic. It's demonic. Yeah. The guy that made the song. I just been straight on the highway. He does Santeria. Skrilla, yeah. There's pictures.
I'm a Santo. I do Palo. I sacrifice goats, chickens, mice.
Man, this is like real witchcraft. Yeah, that has 6 in his, I think religion means
6 is Ogun in the song, and number 7 in Santeria represents Yemeya. He worships Ogun and Yemeya.
The theory is 6-7 is supposed to be something that we don't understand, but it conjures almost a spirit.
Why is it called 6-7?
That's just what my brain thought of when I was making the song. 6-7.
There's no like special meaning like behind it. It's just
6-7.
Another rapper made a song with 6 and 7. You know who it was? He's been known to like sacrifice. Yeah, bro. Joe Wayne. 6 foot, 7 foot, 6 foot.
This truck driver was driving alone, but his dash cam footage caught a ghostly passenger right beside him. Check it out.
You don't see that?
No, chingues, pues vengo solo, deja de estar bromeando.
No, because that's a ghost woman, right? That is fully a ghost woman. Her eyes and then the glitch around her mouth is absolutely horrifying. But it's actually not uncommon for truck drivers to witness such a thing. A common story from a lot of truck drivers is picking up a woman, offering to drive her home, and then halfway through she just disappears and is no longer like in the back of their car or beside, you know? This ghostly woman could be someone that sadly passed away along the highway or the road that he was driving on. What's crazy is that he can't see her. You know, beside him is an empty seat. But later reviewing the footage, and his colleagues were like, who were you driving last night?
This is madness. So Russian scientists have come out and said that they now know what happens to our soul when we pass away. We know what happens to our physical body, but the rest is a mystery. Well, not according to Russia. But these scientists have been working with one of the biggest tech firms in Russia, VladTech. They have claimed that they have found a way to physically track our soul. They have allegedly found a way to imp human brain with a code, a trackable code, which they have called an SIC, standing for Soul Identification Code.
Sick.
They have been working with this interface that works alongside with this code. Anyhow, one of their test studies passed away, so they put it to the test. They had this SIC code ready. They placed monitors on his brain, heart sensors, blood pressure monitors, and just sat and waited to see what would happen. They have said that they managed to track this guy's soul as it left the body up until an hour later. That is when it completely vanished off their system. These scientists said the reason they lost track of it is because the soul was travelling faster than the speed of light. They have also said they have reason to believe that the soul left this universe and headed to another. I don't really know what I think about this, but it's interesting. So let's say it is true. Where the hell does your soul go?
Yeah, so here's something crispy for you. We just got another brand new, beautiful image of 3i Atlas. And this one gives us the widest view perhaps yet. Check this out. It was captured by astrophotographer Santuru Murata. Hopefully I didn't botch that too much. On November 16th, which is yesterday, from New Mexico. And it's a combination of 24 exposures, 60 seconds each. And I'll put the details of the telescope that they used in the description. But you can clearly see that incredibly long, tight tail stretching way out into space, possibly millions of kilometers long. Plus that bright bluish green color, it's unreal. This is probably one of the clearest wide shots we've gotten so far, and with NASA expected to release their own high-res images soon, hopefully this week, this thing is getting more interesting every single day, if you ask me. It's a cool way to start a Monday, no matter what. I'll keep you posted as more data and images drop.
Okay. Just look at that, Seekers. I think then they said, I remember watching these kids together, guys, they said the 3i Atlas was kind of, I don't know, responsible for one of the Cloudflares was happening. So that's crazy, man. Look at that glow, bro. It's bright, man.
You know, the three ghosts of the London Underground. The Tube has hundreds of ghost stories. Here are three of them. Firstly, the girl on the train, on the Big Blue Line, just as the train is approaching Elephant and Castle. Drivers often see a young woman getting on the train, but then she disappears, and they can't find her anywhere. They start hearing strange noises like footsteps running around, door slamming and tapping sounds, but no one ever sees her again. Secondly, Eamon Ra. There's an old, closed station called British Museum that's hidden between Tottenham Court Road and Holborn. It closed way back in 1933, but some people believe there's a secret tunnel that connects it to the Egyptian room in the museum. Travelers say they've seen a ghost named Amen Ra, an angry Egyptian princess walking around the Covent Garden and Holborn stations, screaming in a scary way because she's upset about being disturbed. And the last one is the ghost of the Kennington Loop. At the Kennington station, when the trains are empty and ready to do a loop, drivers hear the sound of carriage doors slamming shut, even though there are no passengers around. Legend has it that a station worker got electrocuted on the tracks in the 1950s, and his ghost is still wandering around the trains, making these spooky noises.
You mean we just discovered an 8th continent? Scientists just discovered this place, Zealandia. And while it is officially the most newest continent, it's underwater. And once this continent rises out of the water, it's gonna start World War III. Because right now the continent of Zealandia is located underneath the city of New Zealand. But this is where it gets more worser. And for reference, the continent of Zealandia is about 6 or 7 times more bigger than California. And once Zealandia finally resurfaces, every country is seemingly going to rush to Zealandia to get all of its gold, oil, and other rich minerals. You know, minerals like coal and redstone from the Minecraft game? But this is where it gets even more insaner. Now, after about 6 or 7 years, scientists have officially declared this as the 8th lost continent, and that Zealandia was originally part of Pangaea. You know, the massive supercontinent? Where Zealandia, once it rises, will be the most beautifulest country in the world, with water that is so blue that it is basically green. And this is where it gets even more wilder. There used to be life in Zealandia. There's a high possibility that this is where Atlantis really was. And whatever you do, do not look up Zealandia baddies. He really got a new continent before GTA 6. Would you ever visit Zealandia?
Did you guys hear about what's happening in Sedona, Arizona? Well, the times that we are in right now, apparently people got woken up early in the morning by this loud, deafening roar. It sounded like the ground was literally collapsing. No earthquake, there was no thunder. People were calling the cops, and even the cops don't know what's going on. But look at this, y'all. Check this out. Listen to this. Y'all see those mountains?
We all just got woken up to disturbing sound all over the area. It's called 911, and they said they've gotten like over 50 calls about it.
Y'all do know Sedona is the strongest energy vortex throughout the whole planet, right? It sounds like something is birthing or coming up from underneath that. So we have all of this currently happening where the planet's strongest energy vortex is. We are about to enter on our planet where the veil is the thinnest, right? And the sun is popping off these CMEs like it's a solar return. What is that? What do y'all think that is, y'all? Let me know that in the comments below.
Redstone. These are some old Aztec sandstones, located 1 hour outside of Las Vegas. What are the ancestors saying? Or maybe what's built underneath these old dunes?
Under a microscope, it looked just like crystals. When you put tears under a microscope, this is what tears and grief look like. Tears of timeless reunions, tears of laughing and crying, tears of release. This is more images of what tears look like under a microscope. Remember, water has memory, so every time you release some of your tears, you're releasing some of your memories. If you ever start crying and tears fall from your right eye first, that means happiness. If tears fall from your left eye first, that means tears of sadness. If tears fall from your eye at the same exact time, that means your body is doing a natural detox. Every time someone speaks about a detox, they speak about herbs, plants, and fasting. Did you know that crying is the greatest detox you can do? The image you are looking at right now in the background is tears when you cry at the same exact time. You ever ask yourself why they always say men shouldn't cry? They said if a man cry, it makes him weak, but it's really the opposite. When a man cries, it recharges his whole physical body to get more strength. So next time you want to do a natural detox, go outside while it's raining and start crying and watch how your body recharge.
I swear. Okay. I didn't know crying was a detox. It's crazy, man, how each different emotion brothers, they look different under the microscope. We learning.
Thank God I'm at the Asian market. Look, I ain't never seen no motherfucking black chicken. The fuck out of here.
What?
What? The fuck? Oh shit.
Today marks 10 years that my sister has been gone. I have told this story before on Facebook. A couple years ago, I told this story on TikTok. And I'm just trying to spread awareness. So TikTok, please understand this is for educational purposes only. My sister was unalived by her husband using witchcraft, black magic, root is what we call it in the South, because he didn't want her to be successful. He was very jealous of her and he didn't want her to succeed. It is a long story, but I just wanted to put it out there that I will be telling the story again. I just need to get through this day. What y'all need to understand is this shit is real and that it could happen to anybody. So let me get through this day, and I will post part 1 probably tonight or tomorrow. And this time I'm gonna go in a bit more detail about what happened, why we caught it so late, and just try to understand that this could happen to anybody. She was beautiful, she was smart, she had children, she was talented, she had a lot going for herself. And when you are a powerful woman, and you come across a needy man, stay tuned for part 1. I just need to get through this day and then I will put up part 1.
Sounds scary. I don't know what he
I can tell you
did.
exactly who will be playing in this year's Super Bowl just by looking at the logo. The NFL really thought the neon colors would throw us off. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, basically every year the NFL releases their Super Bowl logo, and for the past few years, the two primary colors that are in the logo have also been the primary colors of the teams that end up playing in the Super Bowl. And you're trying to tell me this isn't scripted? Anyway, back to this year. Let me show you what this looks like with the saturation turned down. We go from pink and lime green to our primary colors being purple and blue. If you're thinking, hey, what about the red right there? The game is in San Francisco. The Golden Gate Bridge is red. So do not even try to tell me that that little bit of red means the Chiefs are going to be in this year's Super Bowl, because I cannot handle that. There's also a shocking amount of green on this logo, but that'll all make sense when I tell you what teams these are. The blue is obvious. It's the Lions, whose primary colors are really just blue. And the purple is even more obvious. It's the Ravens. And here's where that green starts to make sense. The Ravens' main color is not just purple, it's also gold. And gold is really just yellow. But the Lions don't have another color, so they kind of just rock with blue. And what happens to blue when it's mixed with gold or yellow? It turns green. So nice try, NFL, but the script has officially been leaked again. Lions-Ravens Super Bowl 2026.
There's some crazy...
If that's true, we're coming back to this video. Called it Lions-Ravens 2026.
Things happening in the world right now. A man in Michigan, known for his generosity in his community, made one final gesture to thank his community by literally making it rain cash from a helicopter at his own funeral using his life savings. He was a beloved car wash owner in East Detroit, and he died from Alzheimer's at 58 years old. Sounds like a great guy. We can now help the US government pay down its debt using Venmo and PayPal. Yippee! A Florida man was arrested for drunk driving a lawnmower down a highway. McDonald's had an AI hiring tool that's password was 123456, which someone apparently guessed and exposed the data of 64 million applicants to McDonald's. And everyone is welcome classroom sign is violating a new Idaho law. The law says that you're not allowed to put up political statements as signs in classrooms. I guess, okay. A teacher was banned recently in Wales for drinking alcohol, swearing at other teachers, and dancing to the Macarena while under the influence of alcohol. Obviously, or not obviously, I don't know. Sometimes you just want to dance to the Macarena, I guess.
I want y'all to go look up how many black truck drivers go missing. If you have a truck driver in your family, you need to send them as many videos as you can, because the stories are here on TikTok. Let me tell y'all what's going on. They had a black man, 38 years old. He talked to his wife at 3:45 that morning. When he talked to his wife at 3:45 that morning, he told his wife he was getting down, off the interstate to go get some coffee. She never talked back to him ever again. I think his wallet and I believe the truck was found or something like that. But she haven't heard from her husband at all. So who has snatched this man? Where's this man? You think he just up and just left it and just, come on, bro? What's really going on? But I want y'all to go and look up truck drivers, black truck drivers that has went missing. You'll be surprised the stories that's out there. Though it's just not safe. And I know me and my husband has traveled. And we done got down on it in these little towns to stop to get gas. And it just don't feel right. You know what I'm saying? So sundown towns are real, guys. I actually talked to my nephew because he's a truck driver. And he told me he done walked in a store and he said, Auntie, everything just got quiet. So basically he knew he wasn't, he wasn't comfortable or he wasn't supposed to be there. You know what I'm saying? Like, the people had a problem of him being there. Talk with your loved ones, okay? And guys, share this man's story. I'm going to hashtag his name, okay? I'm praying for his family. Hugs and love. If you are a black truck driver, please be careful. Again, hugs and love. Y'all be blessed, J-Lo. Bye.
Thanks for the warning. Is he looking for his keys in his mouth? Oh yeah, he's cooked. I don't know what he on, bro. I don't know what was going through his mind.
In our food. Watch this. This is insane. There's no way Sweet Tea does this.
Like Jello.
No way. Stay weird, y'all. That's good. None of these places are safe to eat at anymore. Can anyone explain why this happens? As always, thank you for watching. Stay weird.
I just watched a video of that girl saying that everything's been so crazy because there's a time traveler who keeps going back to 2020 to try to fix things, make shit right, but he keeps fucking it up. Listen, I know y'all think I believe everything, but here's why I believe that. Because y'all don't remember this time last year, or maybe a year and a half ago, that time traveler that was caught at the Airbnb in that shed on that guy with the Airbnb host Ring camera. Bro, whatever you believe, okay? He went in, he was in his 20s, he came out, he was in his 50s, 60s. We never seen him again. You gotta be kidding. He's still out here. He's still out here. It was the same guy, the same shaped forehead, the same glasses. He looked at the camera. It's the same guy. He's still out here trying to make changes. That's where we're getting all these Mandela effects from. Didn't they look him up too, and they found his name, and they found that he was involved in like quantum physics and astrophysics.
Wow.
You can't make it up. That's him. He's still out here.
Our sensory systems were not shaped to show us the truth. They were shaped to keep you alive long enough to reproduce successfully. Darwin's theory says the probability is zero that any sensory system, like eyes, ears, smell, touch, taste, has ever been shaped to see any aspect of objective reality truly. What you do experience is sensory systems that guide adaptive behavior.
So your eyes, your nose.
They guide you so that you act in ways that you don't die too quickly.
Okay.
And you can have kids that don't die too quickly. That's all it's about.
If you just imagine, like, wipe off everyone on the earth and it's just you, and we remove all of your senses, what is in that space? Because you're right, my senses, my eyes, my ears, my ability to understand temperature is a byproduct and consequence of me surviving. If we think about ghosts and the afterlife, maybe there was no reason from a survival perspective that I even needed to be able to see or acknowledge them. Maybe it just didn't help. So anybody that could process all that information wouldn't have been good at reproducing, therefore they wouldn't be here. So maybe those of us that are here were just really good at ignoring the other dimensions.
That's what our mathematics says. I think that your intuitions on that are quite right. If you pay attention to anything other than what allows you to have kids, you're wasting your time from an evolutionary point of view.
Oh, what is that?
What the hell is that?
This is a telescope, and I don't know what this looks like bacteria or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's so gross.
Oh wow, you got it.
4K.
I don't know, y'all. This is kind of creepy.
Very creepy.
If you're trying to reduce your exposure to microplastics, you might have to stop breathing.
New research just confirmed microplastics aren't just in our food and water. We're inhaling them, and at a rate 100 times higher than previously estimated. We can't see them, but they're there. The good news? You can take small steps that actually help. Dust regularly, open your windows, and rethink the synthetic stuff you use every day.
NASA works for the devil, and they found him in the bottom of the ocean in the 60s. So they've been trying to cover up the Sealab 3 project for quite some time. Sealab 3 was this mission where the Navy and NASA partnered up to see the bottom of the ocean to test certain things. But what they were doing was certain types of research. In short, they were trying to get in contact with the devil. Well, at least NASA was. Now, whenever they got to the bottom of the ocean, things got really weird. And there is multiple reports of sabotage. Any of the Navy members that discovered anything for some reason ended up missing. Now, the more fascinating thing about this is one of the supposed astronauts that supposedly went to space, Scott Carpenter, was down there the entire time. Now, they tried so hard to stop the information from coming out that even whenever they did a 2-week decompression period, even that was getting sabotaged. This is all public information too. Please fact check me if you don't believe me. The ocean is the house house of the Dajjal or Antichrist, and it is also the house of the devil. There is multiple biblical texts that talk about this. The Quran, the Bible, the Torah all mention about how these sinners or evil people at some point in time throughout all of these stories were going to be sent to the abyss. Now the word abyss means the deepest dark part of the ocean. It comes from the Greek word abyssos. Everything that NASA says is a lie. They are working directly with the devil.
The seismographs at Yellowstone have been down for almost 2 weeks now. People are starting to feel a chill in the air as the seismographs at Yellowstone National Park and the University of Utah, which monitors the Yellowstone supervolcano, have been down. No one has an idea as to why both of them have been down at the same time. However, typically they will let us know when they're about to do maintenance so as to not frighten people. This time that did not happen and they have just been down without a reason. This is directly after this seismograph was recorded at Yellowstone. And as all of this is going on, a man on TikTok is posting videos of the ground shaking. This man lives on a ranch near the Yellowstone National Park. In one of these videos, he has a water bottle on the ground, and as he's recording, you can see several small fissures pop up. And then a bit into the video, the water bottle falls over. And this person has posted many videos of the ground shaking to such an extreme degree that it sounds like water is boiling underneath the surface of the crust.
So we got a freaking super volcano about to go off in the Yellowstone. We see the bison leaving, fleeing. That seismograph was looking scary.
Is scared he will never die. Ismail Azizi from Tanzania has reportedly been declared medically dead by doctors on 6 separate occasions, but has come back to life every single time, and no one can explain how. In a recent documentary by Afromax, they report that the first time he died was after a workplace accident. He was taken to the hospital in critical condition, and soon after, doctors declared him dead, not some randoms off the street. His body was taken to the morgue while his family started preparing his funeral. But to their bewilderment, he regained consciousness and walked out of the morgue onto the street like he was taking a nap. And that was only round 1. He died again after catching malaria, but this time he made it all the way to the coffin before yet again waking up at his own funeral. Now this became a literal cycle for years. Death 3 was after a car accident where he collided with a fuel tank and put him in a coma. But like clockwork at this point, after being pronounced dead by medical professionals again, he woke up. And at this point, even the doctors were getting freaked out. Death 4 was after he got bit by a venomous snake, but this time he spent a whopping 3 days in the morgue. And that really convinced his family that Ishmael was gone for good this time. But no, because when they went to go retrieve his body for his 4th funeral, he woke up again. Now after his 5th death, he fell into a toilet pit. His community started getting a little scared, and they became convinced beyond reasonable doubt that he was a witch or a ghost. So you know what they decided to do? Burn his house down with him inside to try and kill him for the 6th and final time. And guess what? They were successful until he woke up again. Bro, I'd be scared too. I couldn't die. And now, after all of this, he has to live in an isolated old house with no neighbors, because apparently he's a bit of a local legend and people are too scared to live near him. He also said he can't get a job either as a result of the stigma. Bro, one meeting with JD Vance, cook him for sure.
Why is nobody talking about this? China is back on a lockdown. Just the other day, over 7,000 people was affected with something called the chikungunya virus, a mosquito-borne illness that causes joint pain, fever, fatigue, and in some cases, paralysis. But here's where it gets weird. They're spraying the cities, they're deploying drones everywhere, scanning every rooftop, and if you got standing water and you're not dumping it, they're fining you up to $1,000. I'm even hearing they're cutting people power. Mosquito nets, quarantines. They treating this shit like a biohazard. They're releasing modified mosquitoes. Like that's gonna help with some shit. I feel like that's gonna make it even worse. Y'all know who started the genetically modified mosquitoes, right? Let me know in the comments. And as of right now, the CDC just issued a travel warning. So if you're traveling to China, they advise you not to, unless you really got to. And I don't see a reason why you would really have to go there when something like this is going. Now this. I got some questions. If this was just a regular bug virus, why the lockdown? Why the surveillance drones? And why the severe emergency level response? Maybe this ain't just a virus, y'all. Climate change is making these viruses spread even faster. Y'all never noticed that? And governments already know what's happening. They running drills while a lot of other people still trying to figure out what's going on. But I be hit. You ever wonder what else they know that we don't?
The guy who was caught throwing toys on the WNBA court has finally told us why he did it. And yes, they have finally caught the green toy machine. His name is Caden Lopez, and he is already facing charges of disorderly conduct and ASSULT after his most recent throw seemed to hit Sophie Cunningham in the leg. Then Kelsey Plum kicked it off the court, and this is where it gets more worse. A lot of people were saying that he was going for Sophie Cunningham specifically after Sophie literally said, "Stop throwing toys on the court, you're going to hurt one of us." Now the WNBA has implemented a no bag policy for games, and even though a lot of people think that this is super funny, a lot of people are super angry that this is happening, and this is where it gets even more insaner. So the 3 toys that have been thrown have been over the past week in 3 different cities across the United States. The first one in Georgia, the second one in the state of Chicago, and the third one where he got caught in Los Angeles. And people were wondering if it was the same guy all 3 times, as well as how did he sneak them in? Well, it turns out that he snuck in the green toys on his person, which is the most disgustingest thing I've ever heard. He was doing this just because it's funny. Should he be free?
I don't know. I don't think so,
though. Seriously? What the hell? It's that hot here?
It's melting everything.
看到感觉是干嘛呢？我的感觉感觉。
What the hell is that? Is that hot?
Want to know how hot it is in Australia? This hasn't been switched on. It's just been baking in the Aussie sun. Just goes to show.
God dang. I don't know how people can live in that heat.
Brain facts you didn't know about. The brain will protect itself even if it means misery to you or death. Inhaling smoke in the middle of a burning house. Brain will make you stop breathing and pass out. Stuck in the middle of a cold place. You will fall asleep to conserve energy and never wake up again. Had your leg torn off by a bear. Here's adrenaline. So you can save your brain even if there's a huge risk of infection or further injury. You and your brain work together most of the time, but when push comes to shove, you are sacrificed.
Survival of the fittest, even for your brain, bro.
Normal looking photos with a disturbing backstory. This photo might just look like a girl scribbling on a blackboard, but it was actually taken in a school for emotionally disturbed children in Poland. This girl's name is Tereska and she grew up in a concentration camp. But what's even more disturbing about this photo is that the assignment was to draw what home looks like. And while all the other students drew pictures of houses, this is what Tereska drew.
Psychology hacks you need to know. If you ask someone to do a small favor, their subconscious mind will register that they like you because they're doing a favor for you. Showing the palms of your hands while talking to someone subconsciously communicates that you have nothing to hide and you can be trusted. Whenever you are introducing a new idea to someone, if you lead with the words, "This might not be for you, but," it naturally engages the person's interest and makes it feel like it probably is for them.
Really?
If you need to remember to do something tomorrow, just put something in your room out of place. The next day you'll see this item out of place and it will remind you of what you associated it with. If you are procrastinating right now, stop telling yourself that you have loads of work to do. Instead, just tell yourself you only have to work for 5 minutes. You'll most likely continue to work even after 5 minutes. People who are lying normally blink more than usual, hide the palms of their hands, mess with their hair or appearance, and use either abnormally long or short sentences. Follow for more.
Really? Those tales, man, you gotta pay attention to them.
Worst ways people have been unalived. Part 5. The woman who was embalmed alive. This is 28-year-old Ekaterina Fudieva from Russia. She had recently been diagnosed with ovarian cysts and wanted to have them removed, so on March 15th of 2018, she went in for surgery. The very routine operation went just as planned. This is when the fatal mistake comes in. Instead of her being administered a saline drop, she was given formaldehyde. If you don't know, formaldehyde is something morticians typically use to preserve and keep a body as fresh as they can. The staff tried flushing her body with water, but to no avail. The chemicals started to attack her body. For over 12 hours, her organs started to fail and shut down. She remained unconscious for 3 weeks, all while being hooked up to machines to try and keep her organs from failing, but she soon passed.
And bombed alive? That's one of the most craziest things we've heard yet. That might be an edit, man. If you guys see any edits, like I said, call them out.
These are human body parts that may disappear in the future. First up is body hair. Originally, it protected ancient humans from harsh weather conditions. However, over time, with modern clothes and changes in environmental conditions, human body hair has significantly decreased and continues to do so. Many scientists believe it might eventually completely disappear. Next are wisdom teeth. They used to serve an evolutionary purpose for ancient humans who had much rougher diets and needed more chewing power. But our diets have softened and our jaws have become increasingly smaller. As a result, they have no space to properly grow in, and many people need to have them surgically removed.
Yeah.
Many babies are now being born without wisdom teeth, and scientists believe this will eventually be the standard. Finally, we have male nipples. Everyone starts as female in the womb, and before the Y chromosome kicks in for males, nipples have already formed. When the baby becomes male, the prolactin levels decrease, making the male nipples non-functional. So while it's debated, some scientists think they'll disappear.
Creepy fact you probably don't know.
Nipples will disappear?
Part
What
two.
the hell?
At one time, doctors thought that babies didn't feel pain. It took up until 1987 for the American Academy of Pediatrics to declare that it was unethical to operate on babies without anesthesia. So that means for years, babies were forced to just sit there and suffer through surgery without any form of pain control or anesthetics. So yeah, that's kind of scary.
Here's some random
Yes,
facts
it
that
is.
will mess with the way you see the world. Astronaut means star sailor. Astro meaning star and not meaning sailor.
Ooh.
That is such a cool name. High heels were originally made for butchers so they wouldn't get blood on the bottom of their shoes. The first ever webcam was created to check on a coffee pot just to make sure it didn't catch on fire. In Switzerland, it's illegal to own just one guinea pig. You need at least 2 or more. I think it's because they get depressed if they're alone. I'm not even joking. Australia is wider than the moon. How does that work? The Eiffel Tower is taller in the summer. This is because metal expands when it gets hot, right? A jiffy is an actual unit of time. It's 1/1000th of a second. In Japan, there's over 200 flavors of Kit Kats. I didn't know that there were 200 flavors, period. Queen Elizabeth was a trained mechanic in the military. That's a baller move, though. Become a mechanic and then a queen. Do you know the only letter that doesn't appear in a U.S. state name? I'll give you 3 seconds. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Q.
The letter Q.
Weird ass facts that I know for some reason. If you're allergic to eating shrimp, then you also can't eat cicadas. Male hedgehogs, pleasure themselves the same way that us guys do. So be careful when you pick one up, because that white stuff on their feet is not mayonnaise. Saddam Hussein actually wrote a romantic novel. Platypuses don't have nipples, so they literally just sweat milk. Ducks will have sex with literally anything. Literally anything. Literally anything. On average, cannibals find palms to be the tastiest. Crocodiles gallop, just like a horse does. The thought of this is really scary though, not gonna lie.
There is something sinister
Gallop.
that's occurred in the heart of
Galloping?
An 8-year-old girl has
Okay.
completely vanished in or near the lake, which of course has left her family and loved ones completely devastated. This place is nestled within a remote and desolate swamp. Caddo Lake is shrouded in mystery. It's dark trees, murky waters, and there are countless hidden spots that would make it perfect for someone to disappear. As the search for Anna continues, there has been a startling discovery. There are secrets buried deep within this eerie lake, far more than I think anybody could have imagined. Now, this chilling premise is the basis for the latest suspense and mystery film, produced by M. Night Shyamalan, premiering on Max Thursday, October 10th. Don't miss the stars Dylan O'Brien and Eliza Scanlon as they unravel the terrifying secrets hidden beneath the surface, only on Max.
Okay, well, wait. Should we check it out, man? See, because like I said, you guys know I'm not into scary movies, but thrillers and things, I'll check those out.
Truths about fears. You are not
I ain't.
Are afraid of what may be there.
That actually makes sense if you really think about it, because like I'm just starting to put two and two together. Like I said, obviously I'm not afraid like of being in a dark room or something like that, or like I said, being outside when it's really dark. But you just don't, when it's dark, you don't know, you can't see, so you don't know what's actually there. So that actually makes sense. You're scared of the things that could be in the dark, and actually scared of the darkness itself. Well, some people actually could be scared of both, but I think I fall into that category, bro. Expand my thoughts, Seekers.
The darkest conspiracies in the world. The Mandela Effect. A theory that suggests that our current reality has somehow been shifted into an alternate universe. Such evidence includes things like the Berenstain Bears being Berenstain Bears, fruit of the loom, with and without the cornucopia. Even the memory of Mandela dying in prison back in the 1980s versus 2013. Supposedly created by the CIA as a psyops. Are we really in an alternate reality? Hit the plus sign if you think so.
Hit that thumbs up bump if you think we're in an
There are some
alternate
of the most
reality.
random animals people have been killed by. In July 2013, a Brazilian man was asleep in bed when a cow fell through his roof right on top of him. The 3,000-pound animal had been grazing when it stepped on a thinly corrugated roof and fell and suplexed the man whose only crime was sleeping on the wrong side of the bed. The man seemed okay and went to the hospital, but then died of internal bleeding before even seeing a doctor. In the water, it isn't the sharks you have to worry about. It's the needlefish, because they'll heat themselves out of the water at 37 miles per hour. Getting vibe checked by a fish fast enough to get a speeding ticket is one creative way to get put in a Twitter bio. One Indonesian woman tragically got pierced right above the eye, and even though she was rushed to the hospital, she flatlined a few hours later. One needlefish managed to stab a 10-year-old boy through the eye and into his brain, killing him almost instantly. Peacocks are low-key ops. A man in Thailand was minding his own business when out of nowhere his pet peacock mauled him, slashing at him with his claws. This velociraptor in drag managed to put this man in a coma. By the time he reached the hospital, they discovered there was a small blood clot in his brain. And he never woke up, so next time you see a peacock roaming a zoo unsupervised, just remember what they're capable of.
This horror game changes the appearance of the monsters based on your personality, and it's a Silent Hill game. In Silent Hill Shattered Memories, there is only one monster. It's called Raw Shock, and it can actually change its appearance based on what you do in the game. The game actually pays attention to what your character does and looks at while exploring in the overworld. Yes, you heard that right, what you look at in the game. One example is if you spend a lot of time looking at things like beer bottles, the monster will actually appear to look diseased. Levels are broken up by psychiatric evaluations that also change certain aspects of the game. These can lock you into certain playstyles that affect both the ending and the way the monsters look. It's one of the most underrated horror games I have ever played, and maybe one day we'll do a video talking about the ending.
Silent Hill, they just made the Silent Hill 2 remake just came out. Man, to the
movies that are
games,
even more
bro.
disturbing than Human Centipede. Just when you thought you've seen it all, I'm here to bring you the worst of the worst. We're gonna go from the least to the most disturbing.
Okay.
So in third place, we have The Sadness. This is a Taiwanese horror movie about a virus that makes people act out their darkest thoughts. So imagine the most twisted things you could ever think of, then imagine if you couldn't control yourself and needed to act on them. This movie gets very dark very quickly. In second place, we have Serbian Film. Yes, that means there's one more movie that I think is even more disturbing than Serbian Film, but just wait for it. Serbian Film is about a kind of actor who gets tricked into performing very intense things. Just to give you an idea of how disturbing this movie gets, it's in over 40 countries. And in first place, this is the most disturbing movie I've ever watched in my life. Trauma is a 2017 Chilean horror movie. The first 5 minutes of this movie is more disturbing than all 3 of the Human Centipede movies combined. And basically, it's about the son of and it shows how his father prepares him for that job. Then there's a time jump and we see a group of women on vacation and they run into him. If you like disturbing movies, then follow for more.
These are the
checking those
scariest
out.
planets ever found, part 3. Up first is 51 Pegasi b. This planet is mainly made up of hydrogen and helium, and the temperature on this planet is over 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. This planet is so hot that the iron on this planet gets vaporized and then forms iron vapor clouds. These clouds will then produce molten iron rain, which just sounds completely brutal. Next up is Korat XL 3b. The degree of pressure put on a human being walking on this planet would be completely insane. A human on this planet would weigh almost 50 times heavier than they would on Earth. That means that a 180-pound man on this planet
would weigh more than 9,000 pounds. The amount of stress would crush a human being's skeletal system instantly.
And yeah, they keep talking about how they want us to expand to different planets. That's proof right there, bro. We don't know what we getting ourselves into. We getting freaking iron rain. Your skull, freaking system's gonna get crushed instantly. I vote we stay here on Earth. What do you guys say?
The world's most dangerous conspiracy theories. This picture represents conspiracy theories from the most well-known to the darkest. Some of these theories say once you learn the truth, there's no return. For this series, we're going to be picking some from each category until we reach tier 10, the point of no return. Tier 10 is so scary that people are saying I'm literally going to die before I even reach tier 10. So make sure to follow to see the journey. Okay, so tier 3. This is the point of no return. Today we're going to be talking about the Denver Airport. The Denver International Airport is located in Denver, Colorado. Before we get to the conspiracies, let's go over the facts. During the process of building this airport, they apparently went over budget by $2 billion, and supposedly even more than that. They were also 16 months behind schedule. So now we're going to talk about some of the theories on why they went over a budget of $2 billion and why it took so long to build this airport. One of the most popular theories is that it's an underground facility for the global elite. There's a lot of facts to back this one up, but a construction worker claimed that the reason the delay was so long is because they were moving 5 buildings downstairs. And by downstairs, I mean in this underground tunnel. The second theory is the Mustang statue. This statue is a blue horse on its heels right in the center of the airport. Later, it was given the nickname Lucifer. The reason they call it Lucifer is because of the fourth horseman in the apocalypse in the book of Revelations. And the fourth horseman represents death. A lot of people have taken videos of this horse and you can literally see red eyes even though there's no LED lights inside of them. The crazy thing is the sculptor who built the statue actually was killed by it. The statue fell down, crushing him and splitting one of his arteries, killing him instantly. So maybe the reason for the delay was to hide something sinister. The final theory that most people believe is this is a foundation for the Freemasons. The Freemasons have some of the most powerful people in the world, which leads people to speculate that this is a headquarters for the Illuminati. There is even a statue that says March 19th, 1994, and those numbers equal the number 33, which is the highest level of Freemasonry. And under the date, the commission name is New World, hinting to the New World Order. The New World Order is thought to be a small group of people controlling the entire world under one government, creating total power and total wealth. So, do you think this airport accidentally spent over $2 billion, or were they hiding a much darker secret? Make sure to like and follow because we have a lot more to learn. Also, my YouTube channel is Austin Vro. Tomorrow I'm going to be posting a full version of Tier 4, so that way you guys can watch the entire thing.
Time travel tips, part 3.
Discuss it down below.
Southampton in 1912, and make sure you bring a cloth and a bottle of chloroform. Take 1 month of Morse code classes. Purchase a ticket to cross the Atlantic on the RMS Titanic. At 8:30 p.m. on April 14th, walk into the radio room and sneak up behind the operator. Quickly cover his face with the chloroform cloth, knocking him out. Carefully hide his body, and then send out a distress signal. At 11:40, you'll hear a horrible screeching noise. As the ship begins to fill with water at midnight, the RMS Carpathia will arrive, saving everyone on board before Titanic goes under.
Okay. Follow those damn steps. That's an edit. Call them out, man. Like I said, if you guys see any edits, call them out because I might miss some too.
Dark web videos you were never supposed to see, part 1. The first video we're watching is going to be the Glesgord video. The full video was actually only 2 minutes long, but YouTube removed it after only 153 people watched it. The 153 people who viewed this video apparently gouged their eyes out and sent it to the YouTube headquarters. The video itself was only viewed by one YouTube staff member who apparently passed out during the first 45 seconds of the video. The person who uploaded the video was never found and there was never an IP address to find him. The crazy part about this video is that 50% of people see that he smiles and the other 50% say he keeps a straight face. So you guys are going to decide.
Shaved fish are just smiling. I definitely saw something in the
9/11
eyes.
didn't happen, part 2. Airport security is non-existent. You simply show up and walk to the gate. The U.S. government has invested in a universal healthcare system instead of the Iraq War. Pete Davidson works with his dad as a firefighter in New York City.
These are some unsettling facts that you likely never knew about. Part 4. Most laughing tracks that you hear in movies and TV shows were recorded back in the 50s. So you're essentially listening to dead people laughing. If the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs had hit 30 seconds later, dinosaurs would still be alive, which likely means that we wouldn't. Studies show that you're 7 times more likely to die by killing yourself rather than somebody killing you. Like and follow for part 5.
On October 30th, 2022, police received a phone call from a woman claiming that her ex-boyfriend was in her family's home and he shouldn't be there due to the fact that she had filed a restraining order against him a week prior. While on the phone with police, dispatchers then heard shots ring out and 4 people were killed by Joseph Castorina. Thankfully, his ex-girlfriend and her 2 children survived, but unfortunately 3 of her family members, as well as 1 man who rented an RV on their property, passed away. Despite fleeing the country, he was found in December 2022, and as of recently, the now 22-year-old was charged with 4 life in prison sentences. What are your thoughts?
So about
It's just an evil case.
3 little girls were murdered in a dance class by a teenager, and 10 others were injured. Of course, that teenager was arrested, but official sources never identified who this guy is exactly. There were several protests and riots in the UK across several cities in the country, and there was a mosque that was destroyed and burned down as a form of revenge because of what happened in Southport. About 1 day later, after this incident, the government, the media, and the police have officially identified who the killer is. He's a teenager named Axel Rudakubana from Rwanda. That is a Christian, not a Muslim, a Christian. Are you gonna burn down a church now that you know he's a Christian? Is that the natural response we as people should have? Official sources confirmed who's the person behind this misinformation. And let me tell you, this is how dangerous misinformation can be.
It can be.
It can lead you to do the wrong things. The person behind this misinformation is Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson is an anti-Islam activist. Most of the biggest platform he has is on X, Twitter. That was where he tweeted that this guy, the murderer, was a Muslim. And you know, because of his contribution to the misinformation, these riots happened. And innocent people were injured. And a mosque was burned down. I'm not sure if it was one or more than one. To be honest, I don't even know the guy. I just heard of him today. And from an official news site that said Tommy Robinson was the main contributor to the misinformation that led to these riots. People are so gullible in this way. Really. Like, I mean this with no offense, but you guys are. And it's really bad.
It's power behind words, man. That's why you have to be careful what you say. Like you said, misinformation, it can be a dangerous thing, man. You never know what your words can lead to.
I remember this one story he told
Just for a
about this
damn
guy
party.
who has this kid, and he's saying that he sees his wife, but she's actually dead.
She's a jinn.
She's a jinn, yeah.
Yeah.
She's a jinn. So
The story happened in Pakistan.
yeah.
Yeah,
That
some
story
guy
was-
married the jinn, yeah.
That story was
This story's messed up. Actually, you might have seen videos on TikTok about this because it was blowing up in Yemen and in some parts of the Arab world. You know, in Yemen there are Houthis. Well, in one of the Houthi bases, one of the Houthi soldiers went out, saw somebody he didn't know. Hey, who are you? He looks at him and runs away. He shoots him. Person dies. He goes, checks the body, person's dead. Goes back to report it to the general or whoever. And I killed the person, I don't know who he is. They go back, the body's not there.
What?
Where's the body? I don't know. No blood, no nothing. As if nothing happened.
Chills, oh my god. Okay.
He killed the jinn. He killed the jinn. He killed the jinn, bro. The next day, same night, a whole court system of jinns possessed this man. There was a judge, jinn world. Judge, prosecutor,
and the victim's father, the jinn, the father of the jinn that died, all talking using the guy's voice, and he was obviously having a lot of seizures in between, saying that, by the way, they were Muslim jinns, so they don't immediately attack. There is a system, there is a law in place, they follow the same Quran, you know? They didn't kill that soldier, but they let him off the hook with a punishment. So either they had to take somebody from his family life, or they kill him, because that's what the father said. He said, let me kill this man, he killed my son, let me kill him. But the judge refused, and there was something he had to pay as a diya.
Right.
But I don't know what it was and how it worked out, but the guy suffered a lot, man. He killed the jinn.
So he killed the jinn. The jinn was the human being?
Yeah, he shapeshifted. Jinns can shapeshift. They're not perfect human being form, but they can shapeshift enough for you to look at them and think they're humans.
So he killed the jinn.
Killed the jinn. And you know, sometimes they say, when you see a lizard, sometimes they say part of the sunnah is to kill it, right? Because it could be a jinn. And if you take the lizard's life and it was a jinn, the actual jinn dies. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes they
If I kill that Titara, it's not gonna come after my family.
It can't. That's why there was another story in Qatar of a guy that shot a black cat. It turned out to be a jinn.
Oh yeah, I heard that. I heard that a lot before. They say if you see a black cat, be cautious. Yeah, it might be jinn.
It might be, yeah. Then they went and they say, hey, you tried to kill one of our people. Be careful. You do that one more time, we'll bury your head in another continent and your body in Antarctica. Like, we will separate you in half, like literally.
Damn.
But they can't do that.
That you or your friends are serial killers. Number 1, antisocial behavior. Number 2, setting things on fire. It doesn't have to be houses. Number 3, torturing animals. Number 4, having a troubled family history and substance abuse. Number 5, they're pretty smart but cannot keep a job. Do you know anyone that could be a serial killer?
Here's some of the most random fun facts you will ever hear in your life. Armadillo shells are actually bulletproof. One time a man was hospitalized when he shot at an armadillo and the bullet ricocheted off the shell and hit him instead. There's only one letter in the entire alphabet that isn't in any US state name, and that letter is Q. There's not a single state with the letter Q in its name.
Really?
71% of the earth is covered in water, and humans can only use 0.007% of that water. 2.5% of the total water is fresh water, and only 1% of that is actually accessible. The bumblebee bat is the smallest mammal in the entire world. These things can rest on your fingertips and you might not even know because they weigh 0.05 to 0.07 ounces. Ostriches are the world's largest and heaviest living bird. That's why they can't fly, but they are built for running, and they can reach speeds of up to 43 miles per hour, and they can pretty easily coast at 30 miles per hour. The longest English word is 189,819,000 letters long. It's a protein and its nickname is titin, and it would take around 3.5 hours to say the word out loud.
The hell?
People who gained real-life superpowers after an accident. Jason Padgett was a party animal who hated school and got terrible grades. But one day, 2 men savagely robbed and attacked Jason outside of a karaoke bar, leaving him with a severe concussion. The concussion caused him to become a mathematical genius and made him learn fractal geometry, which he had never been taught before. When Derek Amato was 39 years old, he hit his head after diving into a swimming pool and was diagnosed with a concussion and 35% hearing loss. After that, Derek began to see black and white keys in his head, and out of nowhere, he began to play the piano like an expert. Ben McMahon was in a car accident in 2015 and fell into a coma for a week. When he woke up, he could speak perfect Chinese even though he had only learned the basics as a child. Tony Cicerio was struck by lightning after making a call in a phone booth. Within a couple days, he was addicted to music, which he wasn't before. After trying the piano, he became a musical artist, composing his own music.
This mother hits the...
Man, what is up, man? These freak accidents, bro. Like, it really sounded like something out of a comic book, man. You know, something traumatic happens to them. They wake up with new abilities or powers or something like that. Can't believe those stories, man. Are real. We'll have to check them out, see if we can find any more.
Sticky notes in her daughter's sock to be saved from captivity. This 28-year-old mother and 2 kids, a 7-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old son, Mason Dominguez,
were held captive by a man named Brandon Toosland. This all started in January 2021 when the father of the two kids, Eli Dominguez, passed away from pneumonia. The mother was happily married to Eli, but since his death, she began to struggle financially. That's when Eli's former friend, Brandon, offered to support her and her two kids. In March 2021, the mother and two kids moved into Brandon's home, and that's when he became controlling and abusive. He alienated her from her family, made her quit her job, and confiscated her phone. He put locks on the bedroom doorknobs, installed motion sensors, and duct taped her to the bed. She was also handcuffed when she rode in the car with him. But one day, the mother spotted a sticky notepad and a pen in his car, and that's when she began a weeks-long plan to seek help. The mother found the perfect chance to put a sticky note in her daughter's sock, and on February 22nd at 8:40 a.m., the 7-year-old girl went to school and gave the sticky note to her teacher. The note said that her mother was being held against her will and she needed help right away. School officials notified authorities and Brandon was arrested right away. But it doesn't end there. This is when things get super disturbing. Brandon kept her kids away from her most of the time, and especially when she was locked up. And she actually had not seen her 4-year-old son, Mason Dominguez, since December 11th. And she suspected he was dead. When the mother lost full contact with her son, she knew she had to find a way out to save her and her daughter. When police searched his house, they found the remains of 4-year-old Mason Dominguez in his freezer in his garage.
Just a dark case seekers, man. She was smart.
Tachiophobia. Thalassophobia.
Level 1. It's good. I'm still good right now. It's kind of scary. Could you imagine being out there? Yeah, I can't do that. Damn.
These toy designers messed up big time. I'm pretty sure there was a better spot to put this straw on Buzz Lightyear. Come on. And I've never seen a duck with 4 legs before. Have you? I poop glitter. But why is this even a toy? And why this designer made Harry Potter blue? I'll never understand. And this looks like a normal cute horse, right? Well, it actually has a Barbie head as the tail. I'm a sweet baby. Let's have fun together. Yeah, you don't look too sweet. And
What
I think
the
there's
hell?
something up with this Woody doll. And I'm not sure what's going on with this baby's eye.
What the hell is wrong with those toy designers, man? They weren't thinking.
Here are some of the rarest human mutations that actually exist. Firstly, every 1 in 1,000 people have a perfect 10 face, meaning that all of their features fit perfectly within these lines. Now, every 1 in 107 people experience something called mirror touch. It's where you feel the sensation of touch in the same or opposite body part when you see somebody else being touched. Now, 4% of people have something known as sweaty palm syndrome. I'm sure you can guess what that is. It's where your palms sweat when you're not even being active. And the rarest mutation is werewolf syndrome. This is where you have excessive hair growth all over your body. And only 50 people worldwide have this.
This is Tragedy by the Sea.
Werewolf syndrome. Interesting.
Photos of all time. Okay, so first glance at this photo, you just think it's a couple arguing at the beach, right? But believe it or not, this photo might have the most unsettling and disturbing backstory ever. On the morning of April 2nd, 1954, Los Angeles Times photographer named John Gaunt, who was pictured in the middle of this photo, was relaxing on his front yard of his beachfront house when he heard a neighbor shout, "Something's happening on the beach." He then instinctively grabbed his camera and rushed over to see the horrified couple clutching each other on the beach. On the shore stood a young couple named Mr. and Mrs. McDonald, and their body language made John's stomach turn. He realized that someone must be lost, and he then took a photograph from 200 yards away. Only then did he learn that just moments before, the couple's 19-month-old son Michael, who had been playing in the yard, had wandered down to the beach and crawled into the violent waters while they weren't looking. Despite the back and forth efforts by the parents, there was nothing they can do but just wait. Unfortunately, later that day, the child's dead body was washed up about a mile away on the beach. And this photo, titled "Tragedy by the Sea," appeared on the front page of the Times the very next day. John Gaunt then won the 1955 Pulitzer Prize Award calling the photo poignant and profoundly moving. But he also received heavy criticism for capitalizing on the family's tragedy for his photo opportunity. But now take a look at this photo, knowing everything you do, and tell me it's not one of the saddest and most disturbing photos ever.
The darkest conspiracy theories. The Teletubbies theory. The theory says that the show is inspired by historic events that happened in a Bulgarian mental facility. Each Teletubby is inspired by a kid that was experimented on. Lola was based on a child who had facial disfigurement and had to smile all the time. Tinky Winky was based on a deaf child who was tied to a fence outside and suffered frostbite. Gypsy was inspired by a child who was constantly sick and ended up lying in his own puke. And Paul was based on a child who fell into fire, which is recognizable by his color is red.
This 14-year-old boy
adds up.
His 83-year-old neighbor. Viewers' discretion is strongly advised. On August 29th of 2018, 14-year-old Tyrone Harvin told his 83-year-old neighbor, Dorothy Mae Neal, that he would help her with some chores inside of her apartment. Before walking into her apartment, he made sure to grab a handful of condoms. Tyrone did help Dorothy with some chores before attacking her with a lamp. After that, Tyrone S.A.'d her, he fled her apartment, and he left her seriously injured on the floor and naked. Neighbors had asked police to do a welfare check on Dorothy since they hadn't seen her around for a couple of days. When officers showed up at her apartment, they noticed dried blood on her doorknob, and that's when they saw Dorothy lying naked on the floor. She was then taken to the University of Maryland Hospital Trauma Unit and unfortunately passed away that next day. When officers were at Dorothy's home, they noticed that there was several condom wrappers around her body as well as used condoms. A broken, bloodied lamp was also found by officers. Dorothy's autopsy revealed that she suffered extensive trauma to her head and genitals. There was DNA on Dorothy's body and in those condoms, and that DNA matched up to Tyrone. Despite all of the evidence, Tyrone's mom stood by his side and truly believed that he would never do something like this. On June 29th of 2022, Tyrone was convicted on first-degree murder, first-degree SA, and use of a deadly weapon. Tyrone was also sentenced to life in prison.
Oh no. Whole life over. There you
No,
go.
no, 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 silly. To dry it. But it exploded. And they were both found dead.
Here's some
Sounds like an edit.
we all did as kids. Who remembers pouring glue all over their hand and peeling it off? How satisfying was that?
I
And
remember
we
that.
definitely have all gotten our fingers stuck in one of these at least one time. Who
True.
remembers feeling like the coolest kid with a pencil this small? And we all ran our fingers along these grooves at school. Admit it, we all stabbed our eraser with our pencil like this. And we definitely all unraveled the design of these pencils. And we all dove to the bottom of the pool to pick up these rings. Who remembers using these blocks in school? And we definitely all tried pushing down all of the colors at one time.
Did any of you guys do that, Seekers, in school?
AI
I
is
remember
not
that.
something that's terribly new, but have you heard about the woman that is haunting AI pictures? This is the face, and nobody can explain why she keeps showing up in AI images. If you look at her, she's not really general. I mean, there are specific characteristics here that are consistent. Again, nobody knows which prompts are generating this woman. Nobody knows why her face continues to appear in different models. So this has opened up one of my favorite questions about the idea that AI pictures can be haunted. And don't forget, if things like this are of interest to you, make sure to go check out the podcast.
War generals really to study.
Wow.
Coyote managed to finesse its two biggest enemies, and all they had to do was wait and play the long game. So once upon a time, humanity saw this canyon puppy and decided it was on site ever since. America started murking coyotes like they were made out of oil. Mark Twain hated it so much, he wrote a 3-page MLA format essay on why coyotes deserve nothing. If you thought Kendrick hated Drake, that is nothing on the abhorrence this man had for a travel-sized wolf. So much that it literally inspired a pain magnet of a Looney Tune. Now here's the first problem of beefing with coyotes. Coyotes are basically canine cockroaches. The harder you try to murk them, the harder they work to birth them. Apparently they even have this roll call where a female will call out and all the coyotes in an area will answer. And if she doesn't hear a lot of yotes back, it'll actually trigger her body to make more pups. Now op number 2, wolves don't mess with coyotes at all. fault, like to a homicidal level, to the point where wolves will hard bully coyotes in the same area. Now here's where the get back happened. While we were out here spam killing coyotes, we were also at war with wolves, except getting generationally stepped on by wolves made coyotes that much more adaptable. So while the big bad wolf was getting smoked, coyotes were out here hero stepping extinction. And when wolves got packed up in the US for coyotes, it was free real estate. So not only did we accidentally become coyote allies, the wolf dating pool got so low, eventually they started doing the unspeakable with the ops to survive, leading to the coy wolf. It's exactly what it sounds like. Remember, wolves hate coyotes more than anything. So just like that, coyotes managed to outcompete their biggest enemy and also colonize their bloodline. And with coyotes found in every state that isn't Hawaii, they basically humbled humanity too. And that's why I rock with them. They're alive out of spite, and I respect that.
Man. A merge between coyote and wolf, both ops joining together, man. All because of us. Crazy story in Animal Kingdom history.
Unexpected emergency alert systems in different countries. Firstly, if you don't know, countries have different emergency alert systems. The one I'm used to is America's that sounds like this.
Yup.
But on the other hand, we have the country of Barbados, which honestly sounds like club music. Next is Japan, which to me isn't that scary, it just sounds like a notification. Now, one that I would genuinely be terrified by is Ireland's. Just imagine waking up to this. Finally, you know, I'm kind of glad that America's emergency alarm isn't too scary, because Denmark is on another level.
Nightmarish facts about your body that you probably shouldn't think about. Due to the brain's lack of pain receptors, brain surgery is often performed while the patient is awake and talking. And in some cases of brain surgery, the surgeon will pull your face forward like a banana. Men's nipples can be stimulated enough to produce milk. Once you turn 30 years old, you can expect to lose half an inch every 10 years. When you developed in the womb, your anus was formed before anything else. So at one point, you were nothing but an asshole. The acid in your body is strong enough to dissolve razor blades, which is why your stomach is in a constant battle to not digest itself. When you get a sunburn, your cells are dying to avoid becoming cancerous. A sneeze can blow out of your nose at over 100 miles an hour. So next time, be careful, because it's actually possible to break a rib simply by sneezing. If you've ever been on a roller coaster and feel like your heartbeat is in your mouth, it isn't your imagination. Your organs are actually moving around inside your body.
You guys know some freaking creepy facts? I think the one that got to me is that we have enough stomach acid we can burn, like I said, the razor blade, bro. And they were literally born in that freaking butthole, bro. I never knew that was the first thing that formed, man. So we was all, I guess they had some one time in our life. Edit. Like I said, man, if you guys see any edits, man, call them out as well, bro. We all need to help each other, man, this community.
Adult jokes in kids' cartoons you probably didn't notice.
Hey, Judy! Want a party with a real bug? Yeah! Oh, lady, come like lava. Yeah.
So, being a ladybug automatically makes me a girl. Is that it, flyboy? Huh?
Yikes! She's a god!
Knowledge you wish you didn't know, Gandhi was racist and sexist. He kept a bunch of underage girls with him all the time. He would bathe with them, get full-body massages from them, and sleep naked with them in order to test himself. He also thought women were responsible for their own sexual assaults, and was totally cool with fathers killing their own daughters after they had been sexually assaulted for family honor.
Gandhi Doc origins confirmed.
Lauren was shot 15 times, and 8 of those shots were fatal. Emergency personnel arrived at the scene as well as local neighbors so that they could assist. At that point, no one had told Lauren's parents that she had been shot. Lauren's mom, Bianca, was unaware of what was going on and was just doing what she normally did, waiting at home for Lauren to arrive. But then, one of her friends pulled up to her house asking if Lauren was home yet. Her mom was confused about this question and responded and said, "No, why?" And the friend, in a panic, said, "Kids are down," and then left. So her mom, Bianca, didn't hesitate or even let her dad, Vern, know what she was doing, and she just booked it out the front door to make sure that it wasn't her child that was, quote, down. Lauren's dad, Vern, could tell that something was wrong because Bianca wasn't the kind of person to just jump up, flee the house without saying anything or indicating what was wrong. So he knew something was up. So he immediately hopped in his truck and he followed her. There were tons of police cars, ambulances, people, and now crime scene tape blocking the area off. So Bianca was just looking around in a complete panic, trying to see if Lauren was there while simultaneously trying to assess the situation and come to terms with what was going on, and that is when she laid eyes on Lauren. In that moment, her worst fears realized and her worst nightmares come true, seeing her daughter on the ground appearing to have been shot.
Okay, this is getting creepy. We're now finding out that a doomsday fish washed up dead in San Diego just 2 days before California was rattled by that 4.6 magnitude earthquake. I mean, come on. Now for anyone that doesn't know, we've spoken about this before, but according to Japanese mythology, the oarfish, which is very rarely seen by humans, because they saw the depths of roughly 200 to 1,000 meters, well, is said to intentionally rise to the surface and beach themselves ahead of an impending earthquake, hence the name. And I made a video earlier this year when one was spotted before the Japan earthquake, and now again, for this one. So, now remember, there is no scientific evidence that has proven a correlation between them washing up and earthquakes. So as of right now, all we can say is just it's a freaky coincidence.
You guys believe that, man? It's 2 out of 2 though. He did one early this year in the fish and freaking earthquake happened, and another one happened as well. So he's 2 for 2 confirmed, man. It's starting to not seem like a coincidence anymore, Seekers.
Attractions in the World Part 2. Today we're going to be talking about the 17th door. This attraction is so much different than the rest because actors are allowed to touch you. There's also a slight possibility that you'll get your hair cut here, which makes things like 100 times worse. Put you through various levels and rooms that just kind of keep getting worse. The room that you're seeing here actually turns and spins while you're in it. It's really trippy, especially if you don't know it's coming. You can watch a walkthrough of this place online. A lot of commenters were saying that this doesn't do the place justice. Basically, they were holding back a little for the people recording, supposedly. Oh yeah, and here's their lovely little barber shop. I wouldn't go here, but let me know if you would.
I'm never going to any of those freaking haunted houses, bro. They're too extreme for my
Beetlejuice
taste.
is not going to try to marry Jenna Ortega's character in the sequel. I feel like the trailers make it abundantly clear that he's trying to get back with Lydia again. First thing he does when he sees her is he grabs her and he says, "I'm gonna make you so happy." He even has a picture of Lydia on his desk, and then he says, "Now's my chance." The trailer kind of implies that Lydia's husband dies at the beginning of the movie, so maybe the movie is about Beetlejuice trying to be a father to Jenna Ortega's character. He puts down the newspaper and it says obituary, so he probably found out someone died and he thought, now is my time. Let me have another chance with Lydia. You can even see in the trailer that he's at the altar with Lydia. You can also see a wedding cake in the chapel, and you see that this is Lydia with the red dress from the first movie. Like, the first wedding outfit is on the wedding cake. And we even see her in a chapel in the red dress. Because I know that Jenna Ortega is wearing a white dress here, but if she was marrying Beetlejuice, it would be this white dress. Also, let's be honest, like, it's 2024. I think they realized that they kind of made him look like a creep in the old movie and that society doesn't like that anymore, or they're not okay with that. And they acknowledge that in the musical. There's a whole song about how Lydia's marrying a creepy old guy and she's an underage bride. Also, this is a fan-made photo. But I know they added this character, I think her name's Dolores, that's gonna be Beetlejuice's wife. I can't wait for this movie though. Let me know your thoughts and follow my TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube for more. It really helps when you interact.
I never watched the first Beetlejuice, guys, so tell me down below, man. Should I check that out? They sound like a creep trying to marry an underage girl. I don't think they're doing that in the second Beetlejuice.
What did Will Smith really mean to tell us?
Yo, we out here. We'll be
vacation in the Bahamas, another beautiful day. Check it out, check it out. Boom. I want to talk to y'all for a minute about the power of perception. You see, there's a lot that goes in to being a hot social media content provider. For instance, y'all think I got time to go on vacation? No. I got social to do. Come on, man, this is blue screen. In fact, I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. I haven't looked like this good in years. I've been totally computer generated since like the 90s. And you know what? This ain't even real blue screen. It's 2019, y'all. Nothing's real.
Tell me,
The whole message is just freaking computer generated, man. That's really scary. It shows you how far technology has come, and you can literally just make anything, bro, on the internet. Location, your face, whole bodies. Oh, that's trippy.
do you believe was Disney trying to tell us something? Crazy, right? Some things are just an optical illusion, right? Well, is this an optical illusion? Look at that and tell me you don't know what that is. Go ahead and tell me that confidently and mean it. Because you know darn well what that is. You can see it. No, that's not a carving. That's a petrified animal from the days of old.
Do you see this?
Yes.
Do you see this?
Yep.
It's freaking nature! And it's freaking awesome!
Yes, it is. And I don't think science can properly explain how these animals were petrified so quickly to where they were able to preserve their form through all these years. And you know, that really got me thinking. There's plenty of statues on this earth that are thousands of years old. Now, what if they were petrified beings? Now, I know, it's just a thought. And yeah, I can't wait for the Mount Rushmore jokes. And you can joke all you want, but I promise you truth is stranger than fiction.
These are 8 horrifying facts that will probably keep you up at night. There are thousands of old diseases frozen in the glaciers of the world, and global warming will eventually release them all. If a person dies in their costume at Disney, like Mickey Mouse, they have to be sat down on a bench so it looks like they're resting. Climate change is making spiders bigger. Some female spiders allow their young to eat them alive. Tooth in the eye surgery is when surgeons put a tooth in a blind person's eye to restore their sight. It was pioneered in the 1960s, and it actually works, and it's still being done today. The chances of a successful CPR outside of a hospital is only 7%. Cell phones are 10 times dirtier than a toilet seat. When you suddenly wake up during the night without any reason, there was someone or something staring at you. Yeah, there's a lot more, like for part 12.
Need to clean our phones, bro.
Even
ASAP.
the actor that plays Art the Clown vomited from how gross Terrifier 3 is about to be. In fact, there were a lot of really big production companies that wanted to be involved in making Terrifier 3. The creator ended up turning it down because he didn't want to have less gore and tone down certain scenes. To stick it to these companies, he said, we're gonna make it even worse. He even said that they're gonna make the bedroom scene from the last movie look like a little kid thing. Like, that is how intense this movie is going to be. That is the level that we're about to be on. It's supposedly an unwritten rule that you're not supposed to do anything to kids. Like when bad things happened to Georgie and it was like such a game changer, and so many people were like really upset that they would kid in a film. And I don't know about you, but I'm thinking of so many movies where they don't follow that rule. But they are not about to hold back. I don't understand how they can do like the bedroom scene and then be able to put that in the movie theater. The scene took 3 years to make, and it was so intense that people were either vomiting or walking out of the theater. But it was insane. It was so like an awakening. Terrifier the franchise is just known for upsetting the mainstream and pushing boundaries in horror, which I love. But one thing is certain, I absolutely cannot wait for this film.
Undeniable proof he's a time traveler. Watch this.
I'm about to show you absolute proof of time travel. I'm about to predict everything that's about to happen because I've already lived this day. Let me show you something. This is gonna blow your freaking mind.
Okay.
Watch this. Let me show you. There's literally no way I could see anything that's coming through here. I'm gonna prove to you that I've already lived this day and I can predict everything. Check this. Pause the video and check out the order of what I'm about to do.
White,
check this
red,
out. This is gonna
blue,
blow your
white.
mind. White car, red car, white car, blue small car, white car, black car, black car, black car. How do you deny this proof, guys? I mean, I'm literally black car. See that? I've already done this, guys. And this wasn't on the list, but a red car is coming too. Watch. Here's this red car.
Stay weird.
Some crazy history you definitely did not learn in school. This is a picture of Grand Central Station in 1929, and apparently it's not possible to take a picture like this anymore because the entire station is surrounded by buildings. And obviously that would block the sun rays. If TikTok existed in the 1920s, this would have been a trend called horse manning, where you basically pretend that you're headless by having another person in the photo. I guess it was a playful way for friends to be creative. Cool. Let's not bring that back. OMG was first used in 1917. George Washington passed away with about $594 million in today's money of net worth. He was receiving a presidential salary of $25,000 or about $900,000 today. And apparently that was about 2% of the entire government's budget at the time. The old Danish criteria for common law marriage says that if you have a mistress that sleeps in your home for 3 winters and has a key, eats with you, sleeps with you, then you're married.
One thing I'll never understand is something as serious as this right here. Whenever it comes out and gets reported, it seems to be played down to a degree that it's not serious, but it really is. It's now being widely reported that the first human case of flesh-eating screwworm has been reported. You heard what I said. The first human case in the United States of flesh-eating screwworm has been reported. Take a look at this.
Did you know a flesh-eating parasite is making headlines in the U.S.? The U.S. has confirmed its first human case of New World screwworm, a parasite typically found in Central and South America.
How did it here? So an individual that traveled from Guatemala to the United States is currently in Maryland and is infected with screwworm. He is currently infested with screwworm. What does that mean for him? He could possibly lose his life if this is not treated the right way. This is very, very dangerous. This is typically transmitted by a fly. You heard what I said, a fly. What happens is it lands on an open wound and lays the eggs inside the open wound. And if left untreated, it takes just about 24 hours before they start feasting on you. So keep an eye on this, no matter what they tell you about it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Why is this happening, man? All these ancient diseases, bro.
This girl is clearly running away from someone and is scared for her life. But then an employee at the hotel where that video was filmed shared the security footage, and it just makes this whole situation even scarier. Because as you watch the CCTV footage from the hallway, it appears that the girl isn't running away from anything that we can see. She quickly runs onto the elevator and then turns her back and hides her face, almost as if she's hiding from something or she just doesn't want to see what's coming. The elevator door remains open the entire time until she eventually runs out, and then it closes behind her. The only videos uploaded on this girl's TikTok account are the video of her running away that I showed at the beginning, and a video where she explains that a man was following her through the halls of the hotel as she pretended to be on FaceTime so that he would hopefully leave her alone. But according to the CCTV footage that we saw, we can all agree that nobody is seen following behind this girl as she runs away, right? Well, when the employee of the hotel reviews the footage a second time, they notice what looks like a shadow figure walking by. It's not a human, it's just the shadow of someone as they walk down the hall, but nobody is there. In the footage, we can also see 2 small tables up against the wall. The employee explains how on the tables, the bowls are filled with stones, and suddenly, as he's watching the tape, he witnesses a stone from the table being tossed onto the ground. I don't know if this place is haunted, but I need whoever works here to let me know where it's located so I can make sure I never book a room.
Here are some hidden secrets in movies that you may have missed. Part 2.
In the movie Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, which is intended to be kid-friendly, there's a very dark joke that went over many people's heads. In the scene where food is seen destroying many parts of the world, you may recall the presidents on Mount Rushmore getting a pie to the face, except for one. That president was Abraham Lincoln, and there's a dark reason he got hit in the back of the head instead. When John Wilkes Booth assassinated President Lincoln, he shot him in the back of the head, which he initially survived, but later succumbed to his injuries. This movie recreated this event, even having pie ooze out of his face, creating a disturbing visual for those who know the reference.
Oh damn, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, Lil Nas X is cooked. But y'all, the video, his face, something going on, fool. He looked like he lost, like, did I really do this? I'm telling y'all, something was going on with Buddy. He was possessed to some shit, and I know why. Because he chose to be on the other side. Y'all see what happened when you go against God, right? Prime example. He has on Fruit of the Looms. His favorite candy is Fruities. He didn't mock God so many times, y'all. But y'all, look at this video and y'all tell me I'm not tripping. Like, he just looked like, damn, I don't know what the hell was going on. Look at this man's face, y'all. He just looked like he dumbfounded, like he just lost for words. Like he really don't know what happened that night. Am I tripping? Look at him.
I
He
think
don't even
so.
look like the same person. Go back and watch that video when he was outside. That don't look like him, fool. They look like two different people. Tell me I'm lying. If I'm lying, I'm flying. And I'm damn sure not flying. This man is now facing 4 counts. If he ever wanted to get out that system, he could go ahead and kiss that shit goodbye. They got that over his head. He's cooked.
Even Mr. Beast is now getting involved in the Roger Jackson situation. He just tweeted saying, if anyone connected to Stuart Smith knows of a way that I can help him, please reach out. If his kid is a fan or I can help with hospital bills, I don't know, but I'll help. We also got the first pictures of Stuart in hospital, which was posted by his brother, who says that he's in stable but critical care. He also said they do not currently have a GoFundMe set up because others have already started setting up fundraisers to pay for his hospital bills. Like this one, for example, which already has received their target of $60,000. As of recording, Raja has not been arrested. However, LAPD officers have filed a report and detectives have been assigned to the case. But what's interesting is that the LAPD say that they were called to the location for an attempted murder, but they later classified the incident as felony battery. Now in California, where this took place, the common sentencing range for felony battery is 2 to 4 years in state prison, a fine of up to $10,000, or probation with up to a year in county jail. Douglas Mallow, the wrestler who pulled Raja off of Steve, has since said that he places heavy blame on AJ Mana. That's the wrestler who invited Raja to the event and was also heard saying to him,
You fucking give him his receipt. Remember what a receipt is. Give him that fucking receipt, bro.
Douglas claimed that AJ Mana also had a problem with Stewart and that he used Raja to do his dirty work, and as a result, he ruined 2 people's lives. AJ Mana responded to these claims in a now deleted Instagram story, saying he was in character and speaking the language of wrestling when he told Raja to get his receipts, which many interpreted as encouraging or giving permission to Raja to hit Stewart for real. AJ Mana claimed that this was just a situation that got out of hand due to miscommunication. But what do you guys think? Is there any scenario where the full responsibility is not placed on Raja? Or is Raja's future cooked?
What would make... I'm about to say, so what does receipt mean in wrestling terms? I haven't watched wrestling in a while, so I don't know if that means, like, hit him with a real one? That situation, when I saw that video, that was just insane.
You build a 10-foot, 6-inch animatronic, an indestructible robot. This robot can run faster than us. This robot is bulletproof. And again, this robot is 10 feet, 6 inches. Oh, you don't believe me, right? Look at this shit. Listen to what he said.
Just to protect Nosy, make sure Nosy lasts.
That's the legs.
Forever. Permanent.
I'm not even that tall.
It'll be satisfying for me to know.
Why are you building it?
Listen.
Even if Nosy is, on its own for a couple weeks.
On its own?
Or whatever. Just doing its own thing. It won't be damaged by the rain,
Listen.
water, anything, fire, bullets, nothing.
Indestructible?
It won't be damaged by the rain, bullets, fire, nothing. What? And this is supposed to be the finished product. So you telling me this thing can run 32 miles an hour? This thing also has silent footsteps, 10 feet 6 inches, 32 miles an hour, silent footsteps. That's an alien. And this thing right here can crouch like that. This thing right here can come to your window and look in your window. And I ask again, why is this man making this thing? Who does this man have a problem with? Because this shit right here, if it's built the right way, the United States Army might not be able to do anything to this animatronic. This is the Terminator 2025 right here. Mind you, he's building this thing, and he plans on taking this thing from state to state. Don't come to my state, man. For real.
I have a story.
You don't want no smoke.
Okay. I guess this came out pretty recent. Don't know the credibility of it. Seems legit, but we'll just go with that. The Malaysian airline that disappeared, remember that? They were never able to find it.
Okay.
Supposedly, 2 satellites, a Chinese satellite and a US satellite, caught video of the plane, and there was these blob things flying like sporadically around the plane, like encircling it. It's like 3 like orbs. It's just like whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah, I've seen
And
that.
then it disappeared.
Like in a pattern. Just
Yeah, it was just like they were doing something and like we're flying around.
Flying into another dimension, probably.
Don't know. But then the Malaysian authorities said when it disappeared, the last thing they got on the radar was an unidentified blob around the plane.
So
There was an
creepy.
unidentified blob around this plane.
Yeah.
It also came out that plane was carrying secret cargo, and that all it says is that it weighed as much as a hippo.
Was it a hippo? Was it a hippo then? I mean, why would they say a
I don't know. Like, just say like it probably weighed.
Just say 2 tons or something.
Yeah.
Like, don't say, I don't know, probably the weight of a hippo.
We might just be cooked because
Crazy.
now we have underwater ocean currents, the ones that control the climate change. Yeah, they're reversing. This is probably the source of the reason why we seeing these crazy storms happen everywhere. So the flood that just happened in New Mexico, the one that happened in Dallas, North Carolina, Central Texas, and some other places, it's starting to see crazy climate effects. We've got polar bears that's off the coast of California that most likely drifted down there off an iceberg that melted from Antarctica. Remember watching 2012 and the whole entire reason that all of this stuff happened was because of the ocean currents had changed. And we also seen the shortest days in history because the earth is now spinning faster. All simultaneously, the earth's inner core just decided that it want to rotate backward. Y'all get y'all life right now, bro. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, bro. I don't know what's gonna happen next. And it's getting crazy. Y'all let me know in the comments on what y'all think about these underwater currents deciding to reverse in the comments. Like and follow for more wisdom and stay tuned. If you want to learn how to monetize your social media and get paid to make content like this, comment down below Hub and I'm sending resources in your DM. It's getting crazy!
You know the
It's
song?
getting scary, bro.
Yeah. If you play Stairway to Heaven backwards, you hear messages talking about Satan, the devil. Yeah. Oh, is that clear though? Oh, it's calling you to join him. The Lord turned me off. Oh my! Isn't that crazy? It's so clear though. Wait. It's so clear.
I hear a lot of that.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. If you listen to the song Stairway to Heaven, the purpose of the song too kind of lines up both forward
With the message.
and backwards. Yeah, you're right. Because the message in Stairway to Heaven is there's a woman and she's trying to buy her way to heaven. And there's 2 ways that you can go down that path. It shows both sides. Both sides.
Funniest kids test
Scary.
answers. This question said what ended in 1896, and the kid responded 1895. I mean, he's not wrong. Bob has 36 candy bars. He eats 29, and what does he have now? Diabetes. Bob has diabetes. Bro, no way the kid answered that. This kid was asked to name each shape, but I have a feeling the teacher did not mean that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Problem: you fell on the playground and scratched your knee. Solution: get up and deal with it. Bro, this kid's a savage, man. This kid was asked to draw a line to the correct answer, so he did this. Bro, this kid's going places. That's smart. The funniest kid test answers. This kid was asked what he wanted to be when he grew up. And he drew a picture of his mom, but wait. It's not what you think it is. She actually works at Home Depot, and that's a shovel. Get your head out of the gutter. Cause: Tony practices the piano 20 minutes every day. A fact, he is a big nerd.
No, man.
No, wait. Bob has 36 candy bars. He eats 29. What does he have now? Diabetes. Bob has diabetes. Bro, where do these kids come up with these things, man? This kid was asked to write an example of a risk. And the kid wrote this and handed it in. No way he did that. This kid was asked to write 3 things you want to do in the future. And he wrote, number 1, get a girlfriend. Number 2, kiss her. And number 3, rule the world. If this ain't my kid, I don't want him because that's good.
Video had popped up and it was a
Kids
random conspiracy
insane,
theory.
bro.
And this dude was saying his random conspiracy theory, and he was basically saying, what if all the natural disasters was actually a higher frequency being trying to contact us, making contact with us? Peep what he's saying, because he brought up the Super Bowl commercial where they was talking about the aliens texting everybody and saying hello down there. So you know how you can feel wind on your body but you can't see it? Same thing with some of the natural disasters. You are only going to be able to see and understand what you make yourself aware to. So if a natural disaster is happening, all you're going to see is a natural disaster. If thunder and lightning is happening in the clouds, all you're going to see is thunder and lightning, because that's what you've made yourself available to perceive. Okay, let's break it down. You know how when you are around a group of people and a group of friends and you're good and you're nice and everything is good at the beginning, but then you start to notice your awareness starts to become more aware of the lies and the bad energy that you are around being around these people. Your mind is only trained to perceive what you allow it to perceive. So you on a certain level are in your own awareness of what's going on around you. But there's so many more layers and levels to existing. So when you see powerful wind just blowing around, oh, it's powerful energy that's going on that you cannot see. It's probably high frequency beings that are really doing some stuff that your awareness is not trained to see. This is why people can't comprehend the 4th dimension. This is why some people may say that we are living on a giant celestial. The earth is alive. People talk about nature spirits, ancestors, 9th dimensional beings, higher levels of expanded awareness. So what you're seeing in your level of awareness may be different from what's actually going on. That's just the after effect. That's just the ripples of what's going through your dimension. But something else is happening on higher levels.
Did you all see this? What is going on in Baltimore? A cargo ship caught fire and exploded near the Francis Scott Key Bridge. The very same bridge that had that ship that crashed into the bridge back in 2024. So what exactly is going on, and what is up with weird things happening around this bridge? There were no injuries reported with this incident that happened, but again, remember what happened in 2024 when this ship crashed into the bridge. So there is something definitely bizarre happening when it comes to Baltimore, when it comes to this bridge. I mean, you all tell me, because is this all just one big coincidence? First you had this with this ship crashing into the Francis Scott Key Bridge in 2024, and now you have a cargo ship that caught fire near the bridge. Maybe it's just a big coincidence. Maybe that's what it is, because I get it. Ships do catch on fire sometimes and stuff like that. I get it. But honestly, you just have to question everything. Again, thankfully, there were no injuries from this cargo ship catching fire, but still, that's just wild stuff to see.
So in Alabama, we saw a person in the sky. In Michigan, we saw a pyramid. What is this in China? Okay, y'all, so they told us that the beings, the alien, the extraterrestrials were coming in a few weeks, and they might be early, y'all. And China is its first stop, because what is this in the skies of China, y'all? Look at this, and then y'all see this? Hold on. What is this? I saw this thing look like it was running on the clouds. Look at that, y'all. Look. What is this?
A bird?
It's running on the clouds, right? Look at this. What is that, y'all? And then it looks like it jumps out and flies. What? And then it pulls back. What is that? But this, y'all, what is going on? Do y'all see this? Hold on. So as I was playing with the video, zooming in and out, I also saw this entity on this thing. What, first of all, what is this, y'all? This thing is glowing up in the sky like a chariot. Is that a mothership? Is that it looks like some type of golden mothership, right? They've been talking about the golden age. I don't know if it's the light that's obfuscating off of it, but it looks like some type of golden mothership. So yes, can somebody tell us what is going on in China? And y'all see the clouds, right? It's literally in the clouds. Y'all see that? Look how dense these clouds are. But the light is reflecting perfectly off of this. And then what is this? What is this thing running on the clouds?
That's a bird.
The shit is here, y'all. Let me know down in the comments below, y'all. Let's continue to get it. What do you think this is, y'all? Like, follow, share for more videos like this. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
Couldn't be a cloud. I don't know what was reflecting that high up. They said this is the toxic. What the hell? Did they just put those fruits in there to make it look like that? What they cutting off those bananas? They eating fake synthetic food out here, bro. You gotta be aware. The hell? They put a flower in there? They did. What the heck? Okay, that's watermelons. What is that like white liquid that they putting in it, bro? Is he standing? Is that bread? They just standing on it. No, those potatoes. They're making fries or something? There's something suspicious about that water, man. They vaping in graves now? You don't trust it, bro.
Years old and has allegedly undergone several plastic surgeries to look like her despite being only 20 years old. When the Titanic sank, the richest passenger on board was business mogul John Jacob Astor IV, who had enough money in his bank account to build 30 Titanics. He ended up giving up his spot in the final lifeboat to instead save the lives of a random woman and her daughter.
Hero.
These were the last photos of Garrett Miller, taken just minutes before a soccer goalpost tipped over and struck him in the head, killing him instantly. In 2013, a family dog named Killian was protecting a baby boy from an abusive babysitter by standing between them and growling at her. This made the boy's parents suspicious of the babysitter, so they hid a recording device under the couch and heard her swearing at the baby while possibly shaking and slapping him. The sitter eventually pleaded guilty to assault and battery of a child and was sentenced to 3 years in prison.
Man's best friend right there, bro.
Toys that have been banned because they're just so dangerous. The first one, I don't know how this was ever legal. It was a yard dart. It had this giant metal spear on the end. You would throw them basically at each other across the yard. These caused lots of damage. This is a little sky flyer. You pulled a string, it went flying up, but the dangerous thing here is it would poke people's eyes out because they came out with so much force. This is an atomic hit. It had uranium in it. People were getting radiation. Crazy. Follow for more.
Uranium?
Things happening in the world right now. After a woman took a DNA test for funsies, police used it to charge her grandmother with murder in a cold case. A woman divorced her husband in order to be with Brad Pitt, only to find out that it was an AI scam. A Philadelphia man who was awarded more than $4 million for an overturned murder conviction ended up pleading guilty in a case where he ended a man's life over $1,200. TSA stopped more than 6,000 weapons at airport security in 2024, and 94% of them were loaded. A Texas woman has set the record for donating more than 2,000 liters of her breast milk. The CEO of Apple, Tim Cook, has let the world know that Stevie Wonder demoed the Apple Vision Pro. A man disrupted a TV interview where a woman was speaking on her feelings of being uncomfortable in public places, and he refused to leave. The city of Bend, Oregon recently ordered its citizens to stop putting googly eyes on statues.
Morbid Facts, Part 511. RFK Jr.'s gravelly speaking voice is caused by a rare neurological condition he developed in his early 40s called spasmodic dysphonia, which causes the muscles that open and close the vocal cords to spasm involuntarily. Here's what he used to sound like before this condition versus after.
And if somebody dumps something into the river that's poison, and it goes into a drinking water intake, and children drink that drinking water, that is child abuse.
I think those vaccines we need to have, again, true double-blind placebo-controlled trials on that. There's 25% of Americans.
While the true cause is unknown, people who do a lot of public speaking are far more likely to develop this condition. RFK required a titanium bridge in his vocal folds to be able to speak at all, and receives Botox shots in his vocal cords every 4 months. He says it's painful to hear himself speak and feels sorry for those who have to listen to him.
What happened? What caused it? I guess that's the real question we need to be asking. And public speakers, I guess they're aware of that. Something to think about. Expert level, we know.
Bro, what happened to all of the crazy inventions we used to come up with? Pedestrian safety catchers, baby cages for those who live in a city, multiple changing rooms, projectile nets for police to catch criminals, the freaking mono wheel, and now we've got this. What the hell? Bro, they were even rethinking childbirth from the ground up. Because let me introduce you to the centrifugal birth table. It is a legit invention that was even awarded a patent by the US government in 1963. It works by strapping a pregnant woman to a table lying flat on her back, and then when labor starts, it begins to spin, like fast. 8 Gs, kind of fast. That's a fighter pilot territory. The idea was that the centrifugal force would help assist getting the baby out naturally by supplementing the mother's pushing. And then once the big moment arrives, there's a casual safety net at the base of the table to catch the newborn. There was even a little nifty bell built in that would ring once the baby was caught. You know, just in case the doctor wasn't paying attention. Yeah, actually, maybe on second thought we're better off with this.
Unexplained things come on camera that will make you question literally everything. This is a video of the president. Now, at first I didn't see what was happening here, but I slowed it down and zoomed in for you. Something's coming out of his sleeve. It looks like a little snake. What is this? Follow from
What was that, man? You know, people in power to be having some strange things goes on around him, but there was definitely something, man, that was coming out of his freaking coat jacket.
2025 just got even crazier, part 9. Firstly, Mark Zuckerberg recently had a meeting with Meta employees and told them that everything I say leaks. It sucks. Well, and you probably ask, how do I know this? Well, the meeting's audio was leaked. Next, a man in the US was just arrested for the death of his own friend who claimed he could dodge bullets while they were intoxicated. Unfortunately, the man could not dodge bullets, and it costed his life. Finally, astronomers just discovered an asteroid named 2024 YR4. The good news is, it has a 99% chance of passing by Earth safely. However, the bad news is, it has a 1.3% chance of hitting Earth in the year 2032. But guys, let's not really worry about this until the year 2032 then.
This is why you should always lock your doors. A man in Venezuela was woken up in the dead of night to a strange haunting whistle. At first, he thought it was his mind playing tricks, but then he heard it again.
You hear that, right?
Dragging footsteps echoed through the silence, creeping towards his room.
Closer and closer.
But as whoever's outside arrives at the door, this happens. Something tries to get inside. The man believes he was visited by El Silbón, a wandering spirit of death from Venezuelan folklore, known to enter homes with open doors. The further it sounds, the closer he is.
Facts that might ruin your childhood. Most of your favorite animal actors are probably dead.
Roald Dahl, the famous author of books like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and James and the Giant Peach, was actually really racist. He was known to be very hateful towards Jewish people. In reality, Pocahontas was 10 and John Smith was 28 years old when they met. And if the movie Finding Nemo was scientifically accurate, then Nemo's dad would have become a female after his mom died and mated with his son.
What? I had no idea a clownfish could even do that. That really just freaking made me question my whole childhood, man. The more you know. That's the White House gate. He said, yeah, let me not do this.
Look at the ducks.
On sight. Got someone on the roof too? Oh yeah.
Extreme plastic surgery fails.
It went through with that.
Nobody has been able to explain this creepy viral video. For the past 11 years, a man who runs a TikTok account by the name of Dude, My House is Haunted has been pretty confident that there has been some paranormal activity within his home. He claims that ever since his wife passed away, there have been some strange and unusual things going on. So eventually he decided to leave cameras out and record what was happening and post it onto TikTok, which is the footage that you are about to see. In this video you can see a chair seemingly moving on its own. It moves somewhat slowly until it suddenly is violently pulled into the corner by the kitchen. A mysterious shadowy figure can be seen moving behind the chair, and then suddenly out of nowhere the chair is thrown into the kitchen. Now of course we're not really sure what happened in this video, but I'm having a hard time coming up with an explanation for this one.
Could be edit. Somebody could have been pulling it. That's the shadow.
Forbidden places that you can never visit. Number 1, Area 51 is a highly classified US Air Force facility that has been associated with UFOs, strange government cover-ups, and potentially testing alien technology. Although no one knows for sure what exactly goes on here, what we do know is that the facility itself is actually quite small. But the restricted area in total is about 90,000 acres of land. Next, Banga Fort is said to be the most haunted place in India. According to legend, there was a beautiful princess named Ratnavati and she lived in this fort. Many men wanted her hand in marriage, one of whom was a black magician named Singya. The princess, however, rejected Singya and he laid a curse on the fort which haunts it till this day. There have been numerous stories of people who entered the fort at night and were never seen again. As a result, people have been banned from entering the fort at night. Finally, the Bohemian Grove. The Bohemian Grove is said to be a secret group of very powerful people. It's alleged that many presidents and business leaders are part of this group. Every year they meet up in the woods and perform strange rituals, such as setting fire to a big owl statue. No one else is allowed to go in or take any photos. But a filmmaker named Ron Johnson once snuck a camera inside, and he presumably caught the world's most powerful men doing all of these strange things. For more?
He's a legend, man. That's not the first time we heard a group of powerful people came together to do some weird things. You know, man. You know the other groups out there. One of the most famous. I don't have to say it.
Here are creepy and strange videos that no one is able to explain. The next time you're in your room, you may want to check under your bed or behind your wardrobe. In this video, Andy explains his life story in the video chat, but something very sinister lurks in the background. Okay, pay close attention to what happens in the back. From what it looks like, popping right behind, you can see a figure with some hair. No one is sure what it is, but it might be an evil spirit. In this video, we can see a group of kids that are going to dance next to a field while the cows observe from afar. Although everything seems normal, as the kids walk into frame, a boy with a blue shirt emerges from nowhere. Pay close attention again as they walk in. Where does he come from? No one knows. This video starts out with a girl dancing to a popular song on TikTok. However, something very strange happens behind the scenes. As the girl dances, a strange-looking pale hand emerges. And no one knows where it comes from. Be sure to follow me on Instagram for more.
Beware your surroundings. You never know who's watching.
This man took the night shift because nobody wanted to, but a few nights later, he would find out why. Tim from the TikTok page Tim Saber got a job as a night guard at an undisclosed facility. In one of the corridors was an abandoned unit where most of the paranormal events would occur. One night, Tim left his phone to record the abandoned unit, and what he captured disturbed him. A small attic door begins to shake, as if someone or something is up there. Tim grabs a ladder to investigate. What he found is horrifying. There's something in the attic that Tim is not noticing.
I'm getting backroom vibes.
Suddenly, an unexpected loud noise startles Tim. But when he looks again, he finally sees it.
I see that? It's like a little statue. I'm gone, bro. Me personally, I'm out. Deuce.
I want to talk about the O'Fallon footage. On the eastern side of Missouri, a tape was recovered from a camera recorder of a missing man in 2002. This photo found in the footage has marked the most chilling mystery to have ever come out of this county. The man is pictured here. His name was Roy Hafer, and he was sort of an amateur investigator. You know, he would go to scenes with recent crimes, places where he could film, and he could sell the footage hopefully to a news station. And on an evening where he ventured to a hot spot where a woman had gone missing just a year prior, he would never make it home from that abandoned house. A police search was conducted by the following morning, as well as a search of the abandoned home and a search of this underpass where a significant amount of blood was recovered, but his body was not. They would also go on to find his cam recorder where they would find that final footage. This was the face seen in the last frame of that video footage.
Just disappeared off the face of the earth? What happened?
Animals you probably haven't seen as babies.
What do you mean haven't seen as babies?
Hyenas.
I've seen a baby hyena actually. Oh, tell me that's not adorable. Why is there scary music in the background?
Camels.
Right, I've not seen a baby camel. I'll own that. Oh. Look at the eyelashes, I take it.
Hedgehogs.
That's Sonic.
Hedgehog. Oh, that looks like something else. Oh, he keeps making me take it back. Sloths. Oh my heart, I will adopt one right now.
Raccoons.
This is mine.
Rocket.
Okay, maybe not a rat. They're a bit reckless. Okay, all right, but yeah. Right, okay, you might have won me over there.
Skunks.
Oh no, there's not room for too many people in my house, and I'm enough. Oh.
I ain't getting that baby skunk, bro. If you guys could pick any animals at Dot Secrets, which one would you get, man? I'm getting a hedgehog, bro. Call him Sonic. We know, man. Expert level. Right here.
The man seen stabbing that security camera was 29-year-old Waldo Mejia. Now, the neighbors who noticed this disturbing footage actually called the police on Waldo at the time and he was arrested, But just a few months later, on January 5th of this year, Waldo attacked a 14-year-old boy who was walking to school. The 14-year-old, named Caleb Rios, was randomly targeted. There is no prior motive to this attack, and it's still unknown what caused Waldo to snap. But Waldo approached Caleb from behind and began stabbing. And unfortunately, Caleb, the 14-year-old victim, would die from his injuries. Now, this story is disturbing because Waldo had been arrested multiple times in the past, 4 times prior to this murder, including on other stabbing-related charges. Not only had he stabbed his neighbor's Ring video camera, but he had also stabbed somebody in another completely unprovoked attack in New York City. After he was arrested, Waldo was seen screaming expletives at reporters and the authorities, and still there has been no explanation as to why he targeted this random 14-year-old kid on his way to school. If you want to hear more true crime stories, listen to the podcast Murder in America that I co-host with my wife Courtney. It's available on all streaming platforms, including Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
This video will prove you have thalassophobia.
You passed this video before. Oh, F1. Okay. This one's kind of getting to me, man. You that high up. It's open sea. If you fall, that's game over, man.
Abandoned house of murdered family.
Going in.
This was once a loving family home, but has sat empty since the 1990s when tragedy struck. The family were brutally murdered one night, but the killer was never found. There was talk that on the night in question, there had been an escape from the local psychiatric hospital. Although this was never proven, the locals still believed this was the case. The case was officially closed in the early 2000s.
To this day?
The house now sits, beds made, waiting for the family to come home. There are even plates left in the sink. Locals and prospective buyers do not want the house because of dark figures that are supposedly seen at night.
Don't blame them. Me either. That's bad energy. Bad spirits. You good off that?
This was truly a shocking story, with an even sadder ending.
These are the four most haunted dolls in the world. First is the Annabelle doll, which inspired the Conjuring movies, which, as you guys know, is one of the most haunted dolls in the world. She's able to not only move herself, but also move objects, and is supposedly inhabited by an extremely demonic being, forcing her to constantly be in a spirit box. Then have Ruby, which in my opinion is one of the most terrifying due to the fact that it's a porcelain doll, which all of our mothers and grandmothers have. Ruby doesn't do anything crazy, but the scariest part is supposedly the ancestor who had this doll prior passed while holding this doll, and now supposedly inhabits it. And it's a porcelain doll, which makes it absolutely terrifying. Then have Letta, who's a 200-year-old doll found underneath a house in Australia, said to make noises in the night, moved by itself, and the owner has a specific account of when he was moving, he heard this doll scream while being in the trunk, screaming, "Let me out. I'm good on everything that." Then you have Robert the doll, who in my opinion is probably the most haunted and cursed doll on this list. Said to be so cursed that if you take a picture or look at him without his permission, he can curse you. And this has happened to multiple people who decided to film Robert without his permission. This doll not only moves by itself, but the previous owner has made multiple statements of hearing this doll run inside of the attic. On top of that, the neighbors have seen Robert peeking out the window in the second story, while no one was up there. These dolls, they're scary.
March of 2012,
Keep them away from me.
a 5-year-old girl named Maria sat on the floor of her kitchen in a city in northeast Brazil, eating an empada. Just then, the front door opened, and in walked Maria's mother. Right behind her was this young woman. This young woman wants to become her new nanny. In the past, there had been other women who would come by to be her nanny, and it didn't seem to last very long. She told Maria that as soon as they were done, the new nanny would come outside and join her. And after a whole hour had passed by, still this new nanny had not come outside. A month later, Maria was out in her backyard. She heard a commotion happening inside of her house. And then all of a sudden, these uniformed police officers came charging out the back door towards Maria. It would turn out, Maria's father, George Silveira, was not actually her father, nor was Maria's mother, Isabel Silveira, her actual mother, nor was her aunt, Bruna Silva, actually her aunt.
They were instead members of a cult called the Cartel Sect. The literal purpose of the Cartel Sect was to eliminate women they deemed unclean in order to reduce and purify the world's population. They would shoo Maria out into the backyard, and then they would murder the nanny. They would then butcher them and stuff the human meat into their famous empadas and sell them to the people in town. The biggest shock of the story is actually the real identity of little 5-year-old Maria. She was actually the daughter of the very first victim of the Cartel Sect. And ever since, they had just kept Maria and treated her like she was a member of the family. George, Isabel, and Bruna, Maria's fake family, were convicted of 3 murders. As for Maria, according to recent news articles, she was reunited with distant family.
No words for that case, man. That's just mind-blowing. Truly. We seen this, man. We know what this is.
Bizarre facts that'll blow your mind. A bolt of lightning can reach up to 53,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. Researchers found by flossing your teeth, you're actually helping to improve your memory. Jack Daniel, the inventor of Jack Daniel's whiskey, died from kicking a safe with his foot. This caused his toe to break, which ended up getting infected, which ultimately led to his death. And finally, Dwayne Johnson holds the world record for the most selfies taken in 3 minutes with 105.
How was he doing that? He was just going like boom, 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 boom.
2024
What?
just got even crazier. Part 19. Firstly, meet retired engineer Tom Brown. And after retiring, he wanted to make a difference in the world by saving rare and lost apples from going extinct. And now in 2024, after nearly 25 years of doing this, Tom has saved around 1,200 types of apples from going extinct. You're a legend, Tom. Next, new words were just added to the dictionary, and I'm going to tell you the 3 words that really stuck out to me the most. The first one being bed rotting, which means somebody who spends many hours in a day in their bed with snacks or an electronic device. But it gets more bizarre, because at number 2 is touch grass, which means to participate in real-world activities instead of online ones. Finally, the last word is the ick, which means a sudden feeling of dislike for something or someone. So, how do you guys feel about these new words that were added to the dictionary in 2024?
Touch grass, my
I
guy.
got stalked by a coyote. Keep your eye on the background, and then what happens in like 2 seconds.
Here's some coyote advice you never asked for from a man who's never had to deal with them. Anyway, y'all know hazing? No, not the college thing. No. Hazing is putting the fear of God in a wild animal to factory reset its behavior. Here's an example. Basically, you want to give him PTSD so he doesn't come close to anything human. Basically, your goal is to have him racially profiling anything on 2 legs. Jokes aside, coyotes are naturally afraid of us. It's when they lose that fear that the trench puppy becomes a problem. And nothing does that faster than when people feed one, even without realizing it. That goes for any animal. But if you bully them on sight, you help them relearn the price of effing around. It doesn't matter what you say, as long as it's with volume and conviction. Obviously, there are exceptions, like if the coyote's hurt, sick, or with kids, and you want to fall back, or else you might have to cash that check. But you gotta think about how they see us. Coyotes have been getting generationally jumped by wolves. But they also know if they stay close enough, they can get leftovers. Coyotes basically treat us like another wolf, so if one steps up, remind him who you are. Because history has proven what happens when you don't. Tourists in South Africa fed the baboons so much that they started expecting it to the point where they don't fear or respect people. That's how you get carjacked by baboons. Macaques in India have gotten so used to people that the government had used their fear of an even bigger monkey called a langur against them. But since owning a langur is illegal, yep, that man got paid to do that. So unless y'all want to be out here wearing wolf suits, get to hazing.
Who would have thought that the same guy that plays Art the Clown could pull off such an incredible interpretation of the Joker? And I genuinely believe that with the right director and the right script, this guy could actually be the real cinematic Joker. If you haven't seen the 13-minute short Joker's Wild on YouTube, please, I highly recommend it. It's freaking awesome. Because David Howard Thornton, the same exact guy who brought this sadistic clown to the big screen, can also give us one hell of a freaky-ass Joker. Which kind of feels like a more sadistic combination of Cesar Romero and Mark Hamill's version of the Joker, giving us this terrifying cartoonish performance that we haven't really seen in the live-action versions yet. Also, most importantly, the dude can laugh.
He nailed the laugh.
Yeah, Yeah, that'll do it. Even the way that they designed him in this short, it feels like they ripped him out of the cartoon and put him into this world that just feels so uncanny. But seriously, go watch the full short on YouTube, because I'd really like to see what could be done with this version of the character.
We've already talked about this
Really?
gigantic Moby Dick animatronic that is under the water and has been there since the 60s, but we're going to talk about it again because I had a nightmare about it, and I'm making that everyone else's problem. So yes, this gigantic Moby Dick animatronic was put there in, I think, 1967, and it has since sunk and is still under there. This is a photo taken in 2005 of it just completely submerged underwater. People on YouTube actually have videos of them diving under there, and it's just like a carcass of itself, and I don't even want it. You can't see it very clearly because it's so murky. But like the first thing that started going bad on this animatronic was its jaw was so heavy that it couldn't sit all the way up, so its jaw is eventually what brought it down. Like its gigantic heavy jaw just made it sink to the bottom of the lake. Like see, here's it when its jaw was completely down and it's just sitting completely up like that. It used to come up and down. I'm going to show you a video later, but this is it without its jaw, and it And yes, this thing is absolutely huge and life size. Like here's it with a boat of people. Ew. Here's it when it was being transported into the water for the very first time. Look how tiny these people are in comparison to this gigantic, huge whale animatronic. Whales are my worst fear of all time, but a whale animatronic completely submerged underwater. Miss me with that. Like, of all the animatronics that I have ever covered on this channel, this one scares me the absolute most. I cannot imagine falling in that water with that decayed, horrific, huge fake whale. I would cease to exist. Like, it looks so sad too. Look at Pookie. He looks so sad. So watch this video of it moving and let me know how you feel. Also, if TikTok is banned, please follow me on my YouTube account. It's the exact same name that's on here. I'm going to be doing this exact same thing in the form of YouTube Shorts. I really hope that doesn't actually end up happening. But if so, please check me out on my YouTube. I love you all. Watch this.
Like, imagine that. Coming out of the water, you think that you know it's an animatronic. So it's a dark world we live in, man. Seekers, if you guys made it with me to the end of the video, thank you guys for seeking the truth with me today. Make sure you guys leave a thumbs up on this video, comment down below. Also, hit that push notification bell so you always get notified when I upload my next videos. You guys are going to catch you in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace, YouTube.